Baseball today. And Mark, today we're going to see Matt Shoemaker back on the mound. He was on the hill once so far this spring. Mixed reviews, but the thing about it was great to see him back on the mound.
Yeah, it's anytime you go back out there after what happened last season at the line drive back up the middle, you're going to be a little apprehensive initially, and you can see that, especially in that first inning. He went 2 innings, he had 2 punch-outs, a couple hits, couple runs, but I think what you saw in that last inning, he had better feel, better command for his pitches, got rid of the nerves, got rid of that anxiety, and even talking to him the last few days, he feels really excited to go back out there on the mound and executing his pitches, especially that splitter and throwing that first pitch strikes, which he's done so well over last year.
Well, it'll be great to see him on the hill here today. Well, the Angels bats got hot yesterday playing at this ballpark. Yesterday against the Reds, the Angels won that game 9-0, had 14 hits. And after the ball game, Mark had a chance to chat with Angels assistant hitting coach Paul Sorrento.
We've actually had pretty good approaches for being so early in spring. It's something that we've stressed from the beginning to where focusing on our pitch, trying to get in good counts. And as a result of that, we've had some walks and kind of the old cliche of, hey, pass the baton, which guys have done a great job, and we're still starting to find our timing a little bit, starting to catch up to the pitchers, but they've actually done a real good job as far as discipline-wise, so we're happy with it.
Yeah, so Ben Revere so far has been really swinging the bat well. I mean, last year's struggle wasn't healthy. This year so far, even yesterday, swinging the bat well and the ball travel. How important it is for him just to get that swing going?
Well, I think it's very important, especially for him. I think obviously coming off a injured, riddled year last year, we knew what kind of player we were getting. I think maybe a career 280, 290 hitter in the big leagues, which is pretty tough to do. So we're excited to see Ben play. It's going to be a big part of our team this year.
Marte, the adjustments. He came out last year, hit a lot of fastballs, and the baseball adjusted throw and break balls. Struggled a little bit, then all of a sudden found his swing. He's certainly doing it well so far in spring. What was the big thing you were able to teach him as far as making sure he doesn't chase 8 pitches type pitch?
Well, I think really all the credit goes to Jeffrey. He's really worked hard in the cage as far as being a more disciplined hitter, being patient enough to wait for the mistake. And he's done a really good job at it, but it's come with a lot of hard work. He deserves a lot of credit. And it's just trying to be patient, waiting for a pitch. Don't be afraid to hit with 2 strikes. And he's done a really, really good job. Second half of last season, and this spring has been really good.
One last thing, Paul. The team, we talked a couple times about double steals. As a hitter, I've always wondered what the hitter's trying to do, trying to sell when you're at the plate on a potential double steal. Is there anything you're doing in particular as far as trying to make sure you sell it? Because, we've had some pretty good jumps as far as those double steals. I know you were a stolen base threat back in your day. How did you guys been able to do it so far?
Back in the day when I used to steal 50 bags, that's a good question. It's really, we're obviously trying to get some guys in scoring position for the hitter. So it's basically kind of hold your ground, Don't let the catcher come up and get a free throw. We do want them, if they do get their pitch, especially certain hitters, to stay aggressive in that situation. But we are trying to get something going and get some guys in scoring position, so trying to protect the runner a little bit on that.
I appreciate, Paul, and that great speed you had, too, as a player.
There you go.
Well, the Angels had one of their best games so far in the Cactus League yesterday here in the win against the Reds. Today we're going to see a guy that's going to be in the mix for the closer's role.
Yeah, Cam Bedrosian is going to be throwing today. It's good to be able to see him. What a fantastic year he had last year, be able to carry it on into this season.
Angels and the Indians today here in Goodyear. Beautiful weather for baseball. And again, Matt Shoemaker will get the start. Josh Tomlin for Cleveland. We'll have the lineups and the action coming up next on Fox Sports West.
Arizona for the second day in a row as the Angels are gearing up to take on the Cleveland Indians. Welcome inside Goodyear Park. I'm Alex Curry. And this spring, a good portion of the Angels' headlines have been centered around their health after having over 20 guys go on the DL last season. They're hoping for a healthy bounce-back year with a big focus being on their pitching. Matt Shoemaker making his second start this spring and continuing his comeback after his 2016 season was cut short. Now, with back-to-back days, the Angels heading out here to Goodyear, Mike Scioscia's giving some of the regulars a day off. So let's take a look at the Angels starting lineup. Leading off for your Halos, DHing is Cameron Maybin. Batting second in left field, Ben Revere. Batting third at second base, number 3, Danny Espinosa. Batting cleanup at first base, Jeffrey Marte. Batting fifth behind the plate, Martin Maldonado. Batting sixth in center field, number 8, Eric Young Jr. Batting seventh in right field, Shane Robinson. Batting eighth at third base, Sherman Johnson. Batting ninth at shortstop, Nolan Fontana. And making his second start this spring, Matt Shoemaker. Now let's take a look at the Cleveland Indians starting lineup. Leading off, DHing, Jason Kipnis. Batting second in center field, Austin Jackson. Batting third in right field, Lonnie Chisenhall. Batting cleanup behind the plate, Yan Gomes. Batting fifth, Abraham Almonte. Batting sixth at third base, Richie Schaefer. Batting seventh at first base, Nelly Rodriguez. Batting eighth at second base, Ronnie Rodriguez. Batting ninth at shortstop, Eric Stamets. And on the mound is Josh Tomlin. It's a warm one down here, 80 degrees for first pitch. Terry Smith, back up to you for the game call.
And we want to welcome those who are watching today on Fox Sports West. Terry Smith along with Mark Ubasaw here with you today in Goodyear. Reminder who's in and who's out. It's brought to you by In-N-Out Burgers. That's what a hamburger is all about. In the lineup for the Angels today and playing out in center field is Eric Young Jr. Mike Trout not in the lineup for the Angels today. The Angels have left a number of their regulars back in Tempe today. We'll probably see them tomorrow when the Angels take on the Padres at Tempe Diablo Stadium. The other thing we're certainly expecting, Mark, is the return of Albert Pujols, and right now things looking pretty good for Albert to make his Cactus League debut tomorrow against San Diego.
Yeah, the buzz was pretty electric even at the ballpark this morning, all around. Even the fans here today, when we were talking to a number, and they're all excited to hear that Albert will be potentially in that lineup tomorrow for the Halos at Tempe Diablo Stadium.
So the Indians are taking the field, and Josh Tomlin is going to be on the mound. This will be his first appearance for the Indians this spring. And Terry Francona, of course, piloted the Indians to the AL title. He was the American League Manager of the Year. He's kind of easing in his starting rotation into these Cactus League games this spring.
Same thing with Corey Kluber, where they threw so many innings, especially in the postseason, going on 3-day rest instead of the normal 4-day rest. So when you go into a postseason like the Indians did, and into basically November, that they wanted to make sure these guys had enough time to get that arm, quiet it down, and get it strong again for this long season. Once again, plenty of time to get ready here with these amount of games in spring training.
So we are getting ready for baseball today. As we're wrapping up his warm-up tosses is Tomlin. He's a 32-year-old right-hander. He was 13-9 last year for the Indians. 29 starts, 1 relief appearance, 4.40 earned run average. He will throw a fastball. He'll also throw a cutter. He has a good curveball and changeup. And he's a pitcher who a year ago threw 174 innings for them. And a guy who did struggle with the home run ball last year.
Yeah, 36 of them he gave up, and this, you mentioned 174 innings pitched. He doesn't overpower you with his fastball. He spots it real well. He's a pitcher. He hits his spots, it pitches inside, sinks the ball. You mentioned cut fastball. Going to be around 86 to 90 on the fastball. When he leaves that fastball over the plate, that's when the home run ball is hit.
So we are ready to go as Tomlin gets the sign from Gomes, his catcher. Here's the game's first pitch, and that caught the inside part of the plate on the Angels leadoff batter Cameron Maybin, and we're underway. The count, no balls, 1 strike. Tomlin's next pitch, and that one is a little bit inside. The count even. It's now 1-1. Maybin, as he digs in, is still hitless so far this spring for the Angels. He's gone 0 for 12 with a run batted in, and the next delivery taps that one foul right by the plate.
Then you notice with Tomlin, he's always on that right side of the pitching rubber. A lot of times the reason why you do so is to be able to get fastballs in, that cutter in against left-handed batters, but he's also effective throwing the fastball inside so far against Cameron Maben.
So here's the next delivery as Tomlin comes to the plate, and that fastball missed inside. It's the perfect time and temperature for some Major League Vino. Bring in Madalena Cabernet or Madalena Chardonnay for the win. It's found at the Big A and your favorite retailer. Our game time temperature 80 degrees. And here's a high fly ball that's lifted into left field out near the rim of the track. Now coming in a foot or two, making the catch on it is Abraham Almonte. Maben got under that one a bit, skied it out there to fairly deep left, and that's the game's first out. Also, first pitch today at 12:06 Pacific time. In the top of the first inning, it's being brought to you by Rennick Subaru. For Subaru, don't forget the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Think Rennick first. RENICK Subaru.com. And here in the top of the first inning, Ben Revere getting ready for his first at bat today, and he's having a good spring, hitting right at 500. He takes the first pitch right in there for a called strike.
By the way, Maben just missed hitting that one out. Tomlin came in with a fastball. He was pretty quick, not quite as quick as you're going to see him as the season progresses, gets more at bats here in the spring.
Here's the next delivery, and that's a little bit outside. So the count now even up at 1-1, and the next pitch that's popped up on the left side of the infield. Let's see who's going to take charge. It's the shortstop, and right near the foul line in fair territory is Eric Stamets, who used to be in the Angels organization. He's playing shortstop today. No Lindor. We were hoping to maybe see him in the lineup, but getting a day off. So two are gone. Revere retired, and Danny Espinosa the next batter.
Quite a few Lindor jerseys in the stands here today, that's for sure. Walking around seeing that.
Yep.
What a player.
Yeah, great young player, Francisco Lindor.
He's one of those faces of the game where the MLB could really promote him. Great smile, great energy, great leader amongst the team. Even though he's a youngster, his talents speak for itself, but his leadership skills very underrated.
Here's the next delivery, and that's fouled back behind the plate. At the plate for the Angels with 2 outs is Danny Espinosa. And so far 2 for 14 this spring for the Angels' new second baseman with a run batted in. Angels are 8-3 this spring. The Indians are 5-6-1 in their 11 games so far in Cactus League action. Here's the next one, and Espinosa takes that a little bit high. Angels and the Cleveland Indians. This is the only time these two teams will face each other this spring. There's one that's cut on and missed.
Pretty interesting to see if now if Espinosa, Danny, can shorten up that swing at a big healthy cut at that fastball was elevated. We're talking to Dave Hansen and Paul Sorrento, trying to get him to shorten up to make some contact, especially with 2 strikes.
2-2, chopped on the first base side and just foul. It was fielded over there by the first baseman Nelly Rodriguez, but a foul ball. The right side of that Cleveland infield. Rodriguez and Rodriguez.
So they have it all covered there on that side of the infield.
That's right. We have Nelly playing first and Ronnie playing second. Tomlin again studying the target of his catcher Yan Gomes. And here's the next delivery. This is bounced right back to the mound off the glove of Tomlin. Recovers, throws to first, and it is in time to end the inning. It ends on the comebacker. The Angels go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. Bottom of the inning is coming up. There's no score here in Goodyear on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Shoemaker has completed his warm-up tosses. Bottom of the first inning we go. Angels and Indians. Shoemaker's first start for the Angels was a ball game this spring against the Milwaukee Brewers. And in that ball game, which was last Friday, he gave up 2 hits, 2 runs in 2 innings, walked 2, struck out 2. And his first pitch today, that's right in there on Jason Kipnis.
Yeah, it's good to see Shu going back out there. He's had that energy going, the butterflies going his first start out, but under control here even from the very first pitch here today.
Here's the next delivery Kipnis is taking, and that one is in there for a strike.
Not unusual for Shoemaker to be ahead of the count. That first pitch strike so effective last season.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is waved at and missed, and he polishes him off on 3 pitches. That was Kipnis's first at bat this spring, and he had been sidelined a little bit with some shoulder stiffness.
We often talk about sequences. That was an excellent sequence from Shoemaker against a very good hitter in Jason Kipnis. A couple fastballs in, split away to get a swing and miss.
So 1 quick out, and Austin Jackson, who was with the White Sox last year, will be the next batter.
Well, he's so effective as far as that first pitch strike. You look at those numbers from after April, nearly 70% first pitch strikes for Shoemaker. Very, very good first pitch strikes with his split finger fastball. 71.1% from May on for Shu.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier getting that first pitch in there for strike 1. Here's the next delivery on Jackson, and that one framed by the catcher Martin Maldonado, but it misses ball 2. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the next pitch, and that one is cut on and missed.
His average velocity on his fastball as the season progressed last year went up about 1.5 miles per hour on his fastball. So he had better balance over his pitching rubber and allowed him to get that good pop to set up that splitter and slider.
Here's the next delivery, and that's a good off-speed pitch that's cut on and missed. Jackson signed a minor league deal with the Indians. He has a opt-out clause right at the end of spring training if he fails to make their opening day roster, and he's playing in his first game this spring for Cleveland. Kind of a late signee, and the pitch, and that one is taken, and it's in there. That 2-2 pitch, a called 3rd strike. So Shoemaker is off and running here today. Back-to-back strikeouts to start off the bottom of the first, and Lonnie Chisenhall will bat.
And one thing we saw during that great stretch that Shoemaker had last year, not only because hitters are kind of sitting back and looking for that split and even his breaking ball, but he was spotting his fastball so well. You're seeing some odd looks when you're looking something off speed, and they get that good fastball from Shoemaker.
So here's Chisenhall, left-handed hitting corner outfielder, and the first pitch. That one is right in there, and Shoemaker continues to pump in the strikes here in the first inning. 9 pitches for him so far. Matt is ready, not wasting any time, delivers, and off speed. That one is fouled back behind the plate. Chisenhall, a former first-round pick of the Indians back in 2008, hit .286 last year.
Really turned into a pretty solid defender out in the outfield. 3rd baseman by trade. Not an easy thing to do to make that adjustment to go play in the outfield.
Legs spread apart. Shoemaker with the next delivery, and that's a little bit high. Missed with that fastball.
That's a good setup pitch too. He went with that 2-seam fastball, tried to bring it into the inside part of the plate, just missed in the 3rd strike on that one.
And here comes the next delivery. That's popped foul to our left. That's going to get back and out of play. So count holding at 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Angels had another game today. It's not a split squad day, but the Angels played a game that started at 10 o'clock this morning local time. A B game against some members of the Chicago Cubs. That game played at Sloan Park in Mesa. And here's the next pitch, grounded on the right side, scooped up the air by Espinosa. He will throw to first base, and Chisenhall and the Indians go down quickly here against Shoemaker. A strong first inning for Matt. We head to the second with no score here in Goodyear. Angels and Indians on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Want to remind Angel fans, long live the hard-working, the proud, the tenacious, and long live the trucks that are as dependable as the people that drive them. Right now, get a great deal during the Ram Truck Month. So we go to the second with no score. And the Angels, 3 batters scheduled to step up this inning. Marte, Maldonado, and Young. And we'll see if we might have a few more bat here in inning number 2. Josh Tomlin set down the Angels 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Matt Shoemaker did the same thing to the Indians in the bottom of the inning. Marte has done a nice job with the bat so far here in the Cactus League. He digs in, right-hander against right-hander, and the pitch to Jeffrey. He takes that one. It's in there for a called strike.
He's been a little bit more patient first pitch. And I remember last year, very aggressive first pitch. He's been tracking the baseball well. That's a pretty good indication how well he's seeing the ball here in Arizona.
There's a cut and a miss. Marte's gone 8 for 20 so far this spring. 2 of those hits homers. He's driven in 5 runs so far this spring. He's the only Angel player that's hit 2 home runs so far. The Angels as a team have had only 6 in the first 11 games. And here's a high pop on the left side. That one's going to travel back to the seats and out of play.
It's one of those pitches Marte would love to have back, a hanging breakable from Tomlin. It's out in front.
So it's no balls, 2 strikes. Cleveland Indians, the defending American League champs. They won 94 games last year. They went to a game 7 in the World Series against the Cubs. Here's one that's grounded deep in the hole. It's short. Stamets is there, and his throw is just late. So Marte, good hustle, just gets there before the throw, and that'll be an infield hit. There was no bobble on that play. The throw was just a little bit late.
Good hustle going down the line for Marte. Once it gets by to third baseman Schaefer. Tough play in the hole for Stamets. Long throw across, and Marte's able to beat it out.
So here is Martin Maldonado, who's catching for the Angels. Just 1 for 15 so far this spring. Right-hander against right-hander. Tomlin delivers. There goes Marte. The pitch is missed. Throw to second. He's going to be a dead duck. Well, he tried a little fancy maneuver there, but he was out by plenty. And that's out number 1. Gomes with the throw to second.
Yeah, Gomes has a strong throwing arm, a hit and run being put on, so it's up to Maldonado to make contact and unable to do so on the breaking ball. At that point, Marte is going to be an easy out at second base, especially with that power arm that Gomes has behind the plate. A healthy Yan Gomes this year for Cleveland.
Tried a little sidestep slide into second base there.
It's like how you dance, Terry.
There you go.
Quick with the feet.
You're the Dancing with the Stars guy.
Oh, yeah, no question.
And here's the pitch. That's a cut and a miss. So the count now, no balls and 2 strikes on Maldonado. Eric Young Jr. is waiting on deck. Tomlin's next delivery. This is lifted high in the air to straightaway center field, and it's hanging up for Austin Jackson. He will put it away. Easy out. Second out here in the second inning. Young will be the batter, and this copyrighted broadcast presented by authority of Angels Baseball may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of today's game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of Angels Baseball.
And Maldonado has some pretty good power, but you saw that early in that bat. Mike Scioscia wanted to see if he one of those guys that you could put a hit and run on. He was unable to make contact with that hard slider from Tomlin, but it's certainly a spot where when he's up there with man on first, he's going to be asked to put on a hit and run a number of times and just trying to make contact.
First one in there on Young. The count, 0 balls and a strike. And the next delivery, this is tapped on the right side. It's a fair ball fielded by the pitcher. Tomlin hustles to the bag after scooping up that slow bouncer and beats Young to first base. Unassisted putout will end the inning. No runs. Angels had a hit and nobody left. Bottom of the inning number 2 coming up here in Goodyear. Angels and Indians, no score on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Bottom of inning number 2 in Goodyear. Angels and the Cleveland Indians, no score. Matt Shoemaker getting set for his second inning of work, and he faces Yan Gomes, the catcher for the Cleveland Indians. Gomes just 9 at bats so far this spring with 2 hits, and the first pitch, it's right in there for a called strike. Angels manager Mike Scioscia, who is seated right near the near corner of the Angels dugout, kind of doing a little double duty today. He was at that other game that the Angels got started at 10 o'clock this morning local time, the B game against the Cubs, and after checking out some of the action for that one, he came over here for the start of this ball game here today.
Dustin Ackley was getting some at-bats, DH, in first action he's had in spring training for the Angels.
Daniel Wright started that game for the Angels today against the Cubs club B game, and there's a cut and a miss, and the count goes to 1 ball 2 strikes. A little bit of a breeze picking up at the moment, coming in just a bit, blowing to right field as well. Shoemaker is ready, and here's the next pitch. This is chopped on the left side and through. In between Sherman Johnson and Nolan Fontana, the left side of the Angels infield today. So Gomes has the first Cleveland hit, and Abraham Almonte will be the next batter.
Anytime you get a ground ball, you know, it ends up being a hit against Shoemaker. You do your job. Yan Gomes just got that ball in between the hole between short and third for a base hit, but you want ground ball outs besides the strikeouts if you're Shoemaker. So a good pitch, but a better at bat for Yan Gomes.
So the batter now is Almonte. Switch hitter, bats left. Shoemaker is working now from the stretch for the first time today, as he is just about ready to deliver. Here it comes, and it's high and away. A fastball misses.
Yeah, Matt Shoemaker's had an eventful already spring training. His dog Samson, we talked about a little bit about the other day, where his dog ate his son's pacifier, so they had to do a little procedure for Shoemaker's dog Samson just the other day to be able to make sure they got that out. It sounds kind of odd, but it was right by his son's food, and you know, a dog liking food decided to go ahead and eat the pacifier, Terry.
So it's time to go to the vet.
Yes,
And then get things straightened out.
Everything turned out all right. Danielle, his wife, Matt Shoemaker's wife, threw out a couple tweets about it.
Well, I'm glad that problem was quickly attended to, and everybody's safe and sound now.
I've had a number of conversations with Matt. You know, you want to get that done. It's not an easy thing to be able to win. It was either potentially go in the mouth to be able to bring that out, the pacifier, or perform surgery. Obviously, we'd always like to not have to worry about performing surgery.
So 2 balls 1 strike. Here's the next pitch, and that just missed a little bit outside. So Shoemaker falls behind 3-1. Matt Shoemaker has been a strike thrower in his Angel career. Last season, no exception, only 30 walks and 160 innings. Struck out 143. He's behind here, 3-1 on Almonte, and we'll see what happens on the next pitch. And here it comes. It's popped up on the left side. It looks like it's going to be playable foul territory. Under making the catch is the catcher, Martin Maldonado. So that's the first out here in the bottom of the second. Scoreless ball game, and Richie Schaefer will be the next hitter.
Yeah, and get the quick out there. Maldonado's able to catch that one and going. And we were even talking about that tweet for Danielle. He said that, you know, the puppet's doing well. You know, English Bulldog, 3/4 English Bulldog, was somehow able to bite it. You could see that right in there where the pacifier's inside his stomach, and then after that the surgery was done, well, the procedure was done, and Samson is doing fine now. You can see it home there, just chilling out. Thanks for that update from Danielle as far as Samson. So you always think of this baseball things going around, Smitty. There's always something else.
That's right. There's a cut and a miss, and then a snap throw to first. Just getting back is Gomes, as Maldonado fired that one up there to Jeffrey Marte, who's playing first base. Richie Schaefer, who's batting, a former first-round pick of Tampa Bay. He played in 20 games for them last year. And the Indians actually got him off waivers from the Reds in January after the Reds had gotten Schaefer from Tampa Bay. So he's moved around a few organizations here during the offseason. It's a toss over to first, and back to the bag goes Gomes.
One thing Shoemaker working on is he's trying to slow down a running game. He has a pretty quick move to first, but not exactly real fast times to the plate. That's why it's important to have that move to keep that base run a little bit closer to the base, although Yan Gomes not necessarily a guy that's going to steal a lot.
Here's the next pitch, and that's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Cleveland Indians, a team that last season did not necessarily get out of the blocks that swiftly. In fact, after their first 50 games, they were just 2 games over 500. But then they put together that 14-game winning streak.
That was right around the time when the Cavaliers were going through their run to the championship.
That's right. Here's a high fly ball that's hit well to right field. It's out by the wall, and that ball is off the wall and in play. Firing back towards the infield is Robinson. That ball came close to getting out, but it'll be a double there, and runners at second and third. The runner at first base, Gomes, wasn't sure initially whether or not Robinson might have a chance to catch it, so he didn't score on that one. It came close to leaving, and now the Indians have 2 in scoring position, second and third, with 1 out for Nelly Rodriguez.
Yeah, pretty impressive swing going the other way. Well, Schaefer on that swing. Fortunately enough, played well off the wall by Robinson and getting quickly to prevent Gomes from scoring all the way from first base.
So here is Nelly Rodriguez. Pretty good prospect in the Indian system, and he has good power. He had 26 homers, drove in 85 last year in Double-A. And he's 6 for 16 this spring with Cleveland. Infield is in. Here's the pitch, cut and a miss. Shoemaker could use a strikeout right here.
And he could do that. I remember at one point last year had 49 straight strikeouts without allowing a walk. So he's around the strike zone, but he has that ability to get the punch out, especially get ahead of the count quickly, and then you can expand the zone here, especially with the infield in, need a punch out.
Matt is set, and the next pitch misses high with that one. 1-1 to count. Nelly Rodriguez, a young player, just 22 years old. And here comes Shoemaker's next pitch. That's a pitch fouled back behind the plate.
He had a pretty good swing at that one. That's a pitch up. As a hitter, that's what you're trying to get a pitch elevated so you can hit the ball in the air to get the job done, at the very least a sac fly, and he had a good swing at it. Now we'll see if Shu can expand, maybe bounce something, whether it's a break a ball or split it in the dirt to get a swing and miss.
Shoemaker studying the target of Maldonado. Here's the 1-2, and did he go after that one? Yes, he did. He tried to hold up, went around, struck him out. The splitter eats up Nelly Rodriguez. That's the second out.
Boy, a great decision to go with that pitch, and a lot of trust in Maldonado behind the plate to keep that in front of him in case he does bounce it to get that swing and miss. Big punch out from Matt Shoemaker. The credit for Team Maldonado behind the plate to keep that in front of him.
So Shoemaker got just what he was hoping for, the strikeout. They still have him at second and third, now 2 away. And here's Ronnie Rodriguez stepping up.
Boy, and he loves to throw that splitter when you think of 35.5% pitch throwing the split finger fastball. When you're comfortable, you can throw for strikes and then also get a swing and miss with that pitch. Deadly. We showed the graphic earlier, throwing for first pitch strike, and then when he's ahead of the count, finishes off with a little bit different type of splitter. That one ends up in the dirt.
I don't know that there are too many pitchers in the game that throw more splitters, at least starting pitchers, than Matt Shoemaker.
He's at the top right now, and again, it's a comfort zone because he can throw for a strike, and he can also get a strike out with it out of the strike zone.
Here's the delivery, and this is popped up foul on the right side. That's going to get back and out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Former Angel farmhand Eric Stamets is waiting on deck. With 2 outs now, the infield has backed up. Outfield not very deep with Ronnie Rodriguez, a right-handed batter at the plate. He asks for time, gets it from the home plate umpire. So Shoemaker is ready. He's working from the windup with runners at second and third, 2 away. The next pitch, that's lined into left. That's going to drive in 1. They're going to wave another runner home. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be offline from Revere. Not a good throw. And that drives in 2. 2-0 Cleveland. So the Indians on the board first, and they get the runs with 2 outs.
Yeah, after getting that strikeout to Ronnie Rodriguez gets a fastball near part of the plate, gets it into left field for a 2 RBI single. Didn't quite get it in there as far as he wanted to, Shoemaker. Rodriguez brought his hands inside the baseball well and shoots it in left field for 2 RBI single.
So 3 hits in the inning, produced 2 runs. Runner on at first, and here is Stamets. He played Double-A and Triple-A in the Indian system a year ago. Hit just .237. He's had 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 12 at bats for Cleveland so far this spring, and the first delivery in there on him for a strike. Matt Shoemaker ready to come in with the next delivery as he works from the stretch. Here it comes. Lined foul. Back to the seats down the left field side. We were here yesterday for the Angels and the Reds, and the crowd today for Angels Indians at this ballpark is better. We only had a little over 3,000 yesterday, but we have more than that here today.
Yeah, pretty good sized crowd.
Yep.
Beautiful day here.
Next pitch will be Shoemaker's 35th here in this ball game. He's in front, no balls and 2 strikes, and a toss over to first, and the runner Rodriguez back to the bag safely. Matt hunched over as he will be coming in from the stretch now, about ready to deliver as he fires to the plate, and that is a good split finger pitch. Struck him out to end the inning. A couple of strikeouts. Shoemaker has 4 strikeouts in 2 innings, but the Indians have a pair of runs, and they're up 2-0 as we go to the 3rd on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Fans, don't forget this spring you can find your escape route Off-road with great deals on a new Jeep. Head into your local Jeep dealer for the Jeep Spring Clearance event. It's going on now. So 2-0 Indians as we start the top of the third inning. Shane Robinson will be the first batter up for the Angels. And the first pitch from Tomlin. It's grounded by the third baseman. Backhanded from the outfield grass by Stamets. His throw is late. Well, it was a pretty close play. That was a very long throw, but an infield hit for Shane Robinson.
Yeah, Stamets got a lot on that throw from the outfield grass. All in one motion. Backhand gets rid of it. The transfer was very smooth. Strong throw, but Robinson just runs too well. Ends up beating it out. But a nice play by Stamets. Gathered himself enough to get a lot on the throw, but Robinson beats it out for a hit. Now you can look for some type of action play potentially right here now with speed at the plate and at first base.
So Sherman Johnson is the batter, first time up. He's gone 1 for 8 this spring. There goes the runner. Pitch taken for a ball. Throw to second, and that's going to be another runner thrown out. Well, Yan Gomes has gunned down one in each of the last 2 innings, and that one wasn't really close at second base either.
Yeah, quick conversation as Shane Robinson's running by Ron Renicky. You wonder, especially with that throw, if there was maybe a hit and run being put on.
Yeah.
Yan Gomes a couple of years ago was right around that 40% or higher as far as caught stealing. And he's got a very good throwing arm.
Here's the next pitch. A one-hopper off the chest of Nelly Rodriguez, the first baseman. He picks the ball up and easily beats Sherman Johnson to the bag. So now 2 quick outs. And want to remind Angel fans to join the Angels April 7th and 8th for opening weekend at the Big A. The Angels will host the Mariners. Fans in attendance will receive a wall calendar courtesy of U.S. Bank while supplies last. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions. Here's Nolan Fontana, left-handed batter. 3 hits so far this spring, 12 at bats. 1 of the 3 a solo homer.
That was yesterday. That ball got out quickly.
Yes, it did. And the pitch right in there for a called strike.
It's a lefty pitcher to boot.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is a little bit low and in.
Well, what you have today, 2 pitchers on the mound and had a pitch. They pitch inside effectively, try to keep the ball down. When they get hurt, both of them, it's when the pitches are elevated. Shoemaker, a couple pitches elevated last inning. Same thing with Tomlin. Not so far today, but last season with 36 home runs allowed in 174 innings pitched. Elevated pitches. But they both know how to pitch and both hit spots very well.
Here's the next delivery. It's grounded on the right side of the infield. Looks like an easy play. Ronnie Rodriguez will throw to Nelly Rodriguez, and the Angels go down, sending just 3 batters to the plate here in the third inning. Bottom of the third is coming right up in Goodyear. Right now, 2-0 Indians on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Here we go to the bottom of the third inning, and the top of the batting order. Jason Kipnis, leadoff man for the Indians today, swings at the first pitch and misses that off-speed delivery. Looked like a first pitch splitter for strike one. Kipnis struck out his first time up. Indians got their 2 runs last inning on 3 hits. And there's a shift on right side of the infield with 3 infielders there. The next one, it's fouled off on the left side, backing out of play.
Well, how often you say during the course of the year with Shoemaker on the mound, ahead of the count 0-1.
Yeah.
We've talked about it a lot already today. It's amazing, especially to be able to throw that splitter for a strike first pitch.
Here's the next one on Kipnis. He holds up on a high fastball.
Now, sometimes when you see pitchers get ahead of the count 0-1, but it's got to still be a quality pitch, that first pitch strike. You don't want to throw it right down the middle part of the plate, especially when you have that reputation of throwing strikes. That's when you get hurt. It's quality and location of that first pitch strike for Shoemaker.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is cut on and missed, and he struck him out for the second time today. That's out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. Austin Jackson, the next batter, and for Matt Shoemaker, he's had 5 strikeouts out of the 7 outs recorded. So that split is working.
And location of it. You know, Matt Shoemaker has that little protective piece on his hat, or inside his hat. It's an SSL piece that he's very comfortable with. You can see right there on the side. He will wear it. You can't really detect it. Can't even see it when you're there, even when talking to Shoemaker. But right now he says he's very comfortable. He doesn't notice it. He will continue to wear it if it's comfortable. And so far, so good for Shoemaker.
First pitch was in there on Jackson, and here's the next delivery, and that is a little bit outside, framed there by Maldonado. 1-1.
As you can see by that graphic, once again, it's not unusual to say 0-1 first pitch strike for Shoemaker. 69.5% after the month of April where he struggled. From that point forward was very, very effective.
There's one low and away. It misses for a ball. And that's a pitch that Shoemaker has thrown for a long time. Some players, you know, pick that pitch up. He's been throwing it going back to before his days in pro baseball. And here's the next delivery. That's a little bit inside. It misses for a ball. So he's behind 3-1 here on Jackson.
It certainly wasn't easy for Shoemaker to get here at this point. When you think about it, undrafted, had it battle all the way through. That split finger fastball really has been a difference maker, especially when he's been able to throw it consistently for strikes.
Here's the next pitch. That ball is hit well into left center field, and that one is going to leave. Boy, that clears the Angels bullpen out there in left center, well over 400 feet out to the grass area where the fans are camping out. And Austin Jackson, this is his first game this spring for the Indians. Homers in his second at bat this spring, and now the lead gets a little bigger. It's 3-0 Cleveland.
And he's always had the talent, Austin Jackson. He's had some power at times, just staying healthy, staying consistent, and making contact. Strikeout has been something that's hurt him over his career with that pitch right there, because not many times you see Shoemaker fall behind, but he has to challenge him with a fastball. Got a fastball. Jackson hits it out to left center field for a home run.
Here's Chisenhall, left-handed batter, takes a first pitch fastball outside. 1-0 the count. Shift is on. 3 infielders on the right side as Shoemaker delivers, and that is in there. Off-speed pitch for a strike. 1-1. And ready, and here's the next pitch. Hit sharply on the right side, out of the reach of Espinosa. Even with the shift on, Chisenhall gets it through the right side for a 1-out single, his first hit of the day. So the Indians now with 5 hits out of their first 12 batters in this ball game.
Yeah, Shoemaker wanted to do that little two-seam fastball, have a little more sink action going down the way, stay true, stay straight, middle part of the plate, and Chisenhall hits it through the shift for a base hit.
Here's Gomes, who's having a good ball game so far. He's thrown out a couple of runners. He's already had a hit, scored a run. And he's a guy that the Indians are certainly hoping will bounce back here in 2017. Played in only 74 games a year ago. Had a separated shoulder. Here's the next pitch, and that's in there for a called strike.
They didn't anticipate him being back. He was on the roster there in the World Series. Perez did a nice job behind the plate for Cleveland last year, but they really miss Gomes because he's the guy that can occasionally hit the ball out of the ballpark, make good contact, but a great throwing arm behind the plate.
Yan Gomes, a native of Brazil. Here's the pitch. That's a low. The base runner Chisenhall was bluffing as if he was going to head to second, put on the brakes. 1-1 is the count on Yan Gomes, first Brazilian-born position player in Major League history. Moved to the U.S. to the Miami area as a teenager. Angels are starting to get some action in the bullpen now. Shoemaker's pitch is 50th of the game, and that one is chased and foul tip held by Maldonado. So the count moves to 1-2.
50 pitches, 34 of them strikes for Shoemaker. Again, in this game so far, I mean, stuff has been there. 5 punch outs. He's been hurt on occasion when he's missed location, upper part of the strike zone for the base hits, the extra base hits for Cleveland.
Angels have Luis Diaz warming up in the bullpen, up from minor league camp today. Here's the next pitch, and that is a swing and a miss, and another strikeout for Shoemaker. Both outs in this inning coming on strikeouts. He struck out 2 in the first, 2 in the second, now 2 here in the third, and Almonte will be the next batter.
That's great action on that splitter again for Shoemaker.
Almonte popped out and foul ground to the Angels catcher Martin Maldonado his first time up. He was a guy who began last season suspended, a Major League Baseball suspension for performance enhancing drugs. And here's the delivery to him. He takes that one low for a ball.
And because that was not available for the postseason roster, and he was a big part of their offense. Yep. Unavailable for him in the postseason. Still an amazing run they had, consider not having Michael Brantley basically the whole season. Their best offensive player outside of Lindor.
And Brantley has not played a game yet for the Indians, although I think the other day he played a simulated game. He's getting close to returning. Of course, they've been waiting on him for really a few seasons now. Played in just 11 games for Cleveland last year.
Boy, if he's healthy, along with Edwin Encarnacion being added to the roster, this is a pretty good team. When you think about it, their starting staff's already dynamic, and their bullpen excellent. Just looking for some offense.
A lot of shoulder issues for Michael Brantley. Here's the next pitch. Runner goes. Pitch is strike. Throw down to second. And waiting with the tag is Fontana. And boy, Maldonado guns down another base runner this spring. And that wasn't even close. Chisenhall thrown out. 2-6 on the caught stealing. Indians fail to score, or they do get one in the inning. They had the home run earlier in the inning by Austin Jackson. Couple of hits in the inning. And as we head now to the fourth, it's a 3-0 Cleveland lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Here in the fourth inning, it looks like Josh Tomlin is going to go another inning for the Indians. This is his first appearance this spring, but he's faced only 9 batters so far in this one. And here's Cam Maben to lead it off. He flied out to left his first time up and takes a called strike.
Well, that's old school. First time out there going into the fourth inning. It used to be at the minimum 3 innings your first start. Now you're seeing a lot of times you'll see pitchers, starters go 2 innings, then 3, and then 4. Their goal was by the end of spring training to be able to at least go 7 innings in a start at least once or twice before the regular season started.
Tomlin had thrown only 30 pitches over the first 3 innings, so he's ready. Here's the 1-1, and it's a high pop-up out near short. Stamets is shading the eyes with his gloves, still on the dirt on the left side, and he'll make the grab. That was way up there. So Maben remains hitless this spring, 0 for 14.
A little frustration on that swing too. Again, another pitch I feel that he's going to cover at some point, but still the timing not quite there for him. Frustrated going back into the dugout after that opportunity to do some damage.
So the batter is Ben Revere. Fans, don't forget, register your little angel for the 2017 Junior Angels Kids Club for only $18. Members receive 4 ticket vouchers, a t-shirt, a coupon for a free large pizza, and more. It's presented by Papa John's. Visit angels.com/Junior Angels for more info. And the first delivery here on Ben Revere, he was taking a misses ball 1. Angels have had a couple hits, and that's it so far here against Tomlin. There's one that's going to land out of the reach of Ronnie Rodriguez, the second baseman, and bounce into right center. And the hot-hitting Ben Revere is on with a 1-out single. Danny Espinosa will be the batter, and let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network.
So far, Terry, we've seen a catching clinic being put on by Yan Gomes, his throwing arm, and Martin Maldonado last thing thrown at a would-be base stealer. This could be a challenge here now for Yan Gomes with Ben Revere now at first base.
And we'll see. The last 2 innings, the Angels have gotten a runner on at first base, and the runner has been on the move, and they've each been gunned down. Not sure whether those were straight steal attempts.
Certainly not Marte, but
yeah,
it looked like it was a missed sign the last time the throw out too.
Revere not going, and the pitch, that's a cut and a miss by Espinosa.
The Angels right now coming into this game 19 stolen bases. A team leads the Cactus League in that category as far as stolen bases. So they've been very, very aggressive. We talked about it a number of times, as a couple steals of home, double steals, twice successful back-to-back games.
Infield playing at a double play depth. Revere leads off, not going at first, and Espinosa takes that one for a strike, so he is in the hole now, 0-2. Espinosa and Maben and Maldonado have all gotten off to slow starts with the bat so far this spring. 2 strikes is the count here on Danny Espinosa. Next pitch, and that was a breaking ball high. Tomlin has a good curveball. It might be his best pitch, his curve. Fastball top out around 92 as a cutter. Good changeup.
It's pretty quick to the plate too. His times, it's gonna be about 1-2 to 1-3 range as far as his delivery times to the plate, giving catcher an opportunity to throw out a would-be base stealer.
And he's a guy who is a strike thrower. Only 20 walks last year in 174 innings. Haven't seen him come close to walking anyone in this game, and this is his first outing this spring. Revere drawing a throw over to first base, continues his lead off the bag. Tomlin had 38 pitches today. Runner not going, and that one is a little bit low. So it's a 2-2 count.
Pretty close pitch. Again, we talked about that yesterday. Not a lot of low strikes being called. I talked about the high strike being called more often this season.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's a good sized lead by Ben Revere.
He's not moving, and the pitch that's fouled back behind the plate. Tomorrow the Angels will host the San Diego Padres in Tempe. That'll be J.C. Ramirez against Clayton Richard. Saturday, Angels and Dodgers. That'll be Garrett Richards against Hyun-Jin Ryu. And that's a starting pitcher for the Dodgers, who certainly is on the comeback trail.
Very good one when he's healthy. It's been a while since he's been healthy, though.
Here's the next pitch. Waved at and missed. And Espinosa is a strikeout victim. That's the first one of the game. And now we see Terry Francona, the manager for the Indians, coming out to the mound. And he is going to make a pitching change. So we'll have a break in the action when we get back here in the fourth. Angels are trailing at 3-0. And we'll still have the runner on, but 2 outs here in the fourth inning. Break in the action. Pitching change coming up on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. New pitcher for Cleveland is James Russell, who is with the Indians, non-roster invitee, has pitched at the major league level.
His dad, a very good closer, Jeff Russell, at the major league level.
Yep. And there's the toss over to first base, and back to the bag goes Revere. Marte is the batter. Infield is backed up with the 2 outs. And here's the first pitch. That one is taken, and it misses ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. As far as Russell this spring, he has seen some action. In fact, this is his 5th game for Cleveland. And in 4 innings, he's allowed 2 hits and 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He's ready, and the next pitch. That is taken for a called strike.
Not a lot of openings potentially for this 25-man roster for Cleveland. It's maybe a bullpen spot and a reserve position player. Pretty much stacked right now at this point as far as their roster for Terry Francona's club, defending AL champions.
Russell is set. And the next pitch, this is popped up foul behind the plate, and it's going to land about 7 or 8 rows back and out of play.
Well, Francona did such an amazing job last year, especially when you think about putting together a pitching staff that really was limited because of the number of the starters that weren't available for him in the postseason. Kluber was outstanding, but he had to mix and match. Tomlin threw the ball well for him too, but Trevor Bauer had that hand injury. Very difficult. He had to really utilize his bullpen.
Here's the next delivery, and here's another one. Pop back foul, back on, out of play. James Russell spent some time with the Phillies last season. 7 games in the big leagues last year with Philadelphia in relief, and he only worked 4 1/3 innings for Philadelphia, but he has pitched in the majors with the Cubs and also the Atlanta Braves. Broke into the big leagues with the Cubs in 2010. Here's the next pitch, and that one taken low and inside. 31-year-old right-hander or left-hander, I should say, James Russell. There's a toss over to first base, and again back to the bag goes Revere.
His best combo would be his fastball, and then he backs up with his changeup. A very solid changeup from Russell.
Russell with the long locks out there, ready to deliver, and the next pitch, another ball fouled off. So been a few here in this matchup against Marte.
Another solid at bat. Good battle here for Marte at the plate.
Sixth pitch at bat, and it's not over yet. Maldonado would be up next. Angels trailing the Indians here in Goodyear 3-0. There goes the runner and the pitch, and that one is framed, and it's called a ball. No throw to second, so that'll be a stolen base for Revere. That was a very close pitch, tough pitch to take right there with 2 strikes. Good eye by Marte. Full count.
Solid jump for Revere, now to 20th stolen base for the Angels this spring.
So a base hit could bring him in. We'll see if Marte can deliver. He's been swinging a hot bat this spring, and the pitch, he pops it up though on the right side of the infield. The first baseman Nelly Rodriguez in fair territory on the dirt near first, has a put out on that one to end the inning. Angels leave a runner at second, and as we go to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Indians on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels will make a pitching change here as we get set to go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and young right-hander Keenan Middleton will take over. Matt Shoemaker worked 3 innings. He gave up a total of 5 hits, 3 runs earned, no walks, 6 strikeouts, and he did allow a home run. So here's Keenan Middleton, and we've seen him a few times this spring. Young reliever in the Angels system who has a very good arm. And the first batter he will be facing here will be Almonte. Here's the first pitch, and he checks on that one. Did he go around on it? No. On the appeal, they say he was holding for Middleton. This appearance is 4th this spring. 3 innings of work. He's allowed 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 2. He's given up 2 earned runs. Here's the next pitch, and that's a fastball high and away.
He does have some great late life on his fastball, and as you notice in his delivery, like King Felix gathered himself over the pitching rubber to give himself better balance, make sure he gets that arm in the proper slot each time.
Here's the next pitch, cut and a miss at a fastball.
That's pretty good indication on a 2-0 pitch. Your hitter, your sitting fastball, and yet he's able to throw a fastball by him upstairs. Great balance over that pitching rubber, that little hip turn, and then works downhill to be able to create that leverage, get that velocity.
There's another fastball. That one misses outside. Middleton is primarily a 2-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider. He has a changeup, but he doesn't use that pitch a whole lot now that he's become a reliever. And the next delivery, it's pop back foul behind the plate. And you often hear that, Mark. Pitchers that are starters might have a few more weapons. They kind of condense it when they become relievers.
Yeah, there's no reason to be able to utilize 3, 4, 5 pitches out of the bullpen. You just go with those your two best pitches, because you might be out there for an inning or 2 at the most.
And the next pitch, and on the payoff delivery, it missed low. He walked him. So Almonte has a leadoff walk. Richie Schaefer will be the batter. Schaefer hit one off the wall in right field his first time up.
Yeah, he's even talking to Jesse Chavez about the difference between his numbers as a starter as compared to a reliever, where we saw it's a little over half a run higher as a reliever. He said basic reason he doesn't use all his pitches as a reliever, condenses that repertoire.
And the first one here is a fastball high, and after that pitch missed, we see Martin Maldonado heading out to the mound to have a quick visit with Middleton. Fans want to remind you, join the Angels all season long. Enjoy post-game Saturday night fireworks shows presented by Wells Fargo. For more info on the Saturday night fireworks, visit angels.com/promotions. So the quick meeting concludes. Toss over to first, quick toss, and just getting back to the bag goes Almonte. He had 8 stolen bases last year and 67 games with Cleveland.
That's real good footwork by Middleton to be able to throw the first. You want to shorten up your throw, but you want to be quick with your feet as far as a pickoff move from a right-handed pitcher over to first.
And the next pitch, and that's right in there for a strike. Yesterday, I guess when the Angels were taking on the Reds, we saw that Red starter Amir Garrett. He was a college basketball player, and so was Keenan Middleton. Played junior college basketball. Here's his next pitch, lifted high in the air down the right side, and that one is going to push foul back to the seats, out of play.
Well, I like seeing that. You're not seeing that a whole lot, especially at the high school level, multi-sport athletes anymore. Everyone's concentrating on that one sport, but it's good to see that. Makes you a more well-rounded athlete when you're able to play a number of different sports.
And for us who certainly have an affection for the game of baseball, it's nice to see those athletes deciding on baseball over basketball.
Yes, indeed. A few more roster spots for baseball as compared to basketball.
You got it. Here's a fly ball that's lifted into shallow center field. Guarding his eyes with the bright sunshine is Eric Young Jr. to put that one away for the first out. So here's Nelly Rodriguez, who went down swinging against Matt Shoemaker. Shoemaker had 6 strikeouts today in 3 innings, so 6 of the 9 outs were on strikeouts, but he did allow 5 hits and 3 runs.
Yeah, I think overall, if you're Shoemaker, you got to be real happy with your stuff. I mean, a couple of mistakes up in the strike zone, middle part of the plate when he fell behind very few batters, but when he did, he got hit around about 6 punch outs, especially to have a type of split he had in Arizona here in thin air. That's very impressive.
There's the first delivery, and that one is taken for a ball, 1-0. Here's the next pitch. That's high, and the catcher Maldonado had to stand up to catch that inside pitch on Nelly Rodriguez.
Well, this would be an interesting swing here. 2-0, fastball count, pitcher on the mound with a good fastball, and a batter with some power at the plate.
Quick toss over to first, and diving back to the bag again goes Almonte. Middleton looking in for the sign. Now ready, and he delivers. That's a fastball high. He's having trouble throwing strikes right now.
Quite a few elevated fastballs. He hasn't missed down necessarily in the strike zone. It's been above the strike zone. Means he's overthrown, recoiling a little bit, not having that proper follow through.
Here's the next pitch on the 3-0 that's in there for a called strike. Middleton is 23 years old. He'll turn 24 in September. This is his 5th year in the Angels system. Former 3rd-round pick of the Angels in 2013. Here's the delivery, and this is hit pretty well into left field, but it's hanging up for Ben Revere. He's under, and he'll make the grab. That one hit off the end of the bat for the second out. Ronnie Rodriguez will be the batter with 2 away. Ronnie Rodriguez had a big hit for the Indians back in the 2nd inning. He came with 2 outs and 2 on, and he singled in both of those base runners with 2 outs against the starter Matt Shoemaker.
I might see an Almonte trying to steal a base here now with 2 outs, try to get into scoring position for Rodriguez.
Here's the pitch, and that one is inside. It pops off the mid of the catcher Maldonado, and moving up to second will be Almonte. That's probably going to be a pass ball on the Angel catcher. Wow, they called that a wild pitch. We'll watch it again, and it was inside, but I'm sure Maldonado would say he should have caught that one. Here's the delivery, and that's high and inside, and again we'll have a little mound visit.
That's a good decision for Maldonado to go out to talk to Middleton right here, just to try to keep him under control. Work down in the strike zone. Don't try to be so quick now. You have 2 outs. Put that concentration towards the batter, not worry about the runner at this point. That was Nagy looking on to make sure he has a pretty good idea what to look for as far as tendencies for Middleton, as far as when he's going to be good or when he's going to be out of his sync.
Here's the next pitch, and that one is grounded right to short. Stopped there by Fontana. The throw just got there in time. Close play over there. Alan Porter says the batter's out, and that's the way it'll go. Ends on a 6-3 ground out. In the inning, they got the leadoff walk, but failed to get the runner in. We're headed to the 5th inning here in Goodyear. It's 3-0 Indians on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Pitching change for Cleveland. Their third pitcher of the day will be Boone Logan, as he will be taking over here, the left-hander that's in his first season with Cleveland. He replaces James Russell.
By the way, Terry, that was really cool seeing Mike Sosa talking with Middleton in between innings in that dugout. It's a great opportunity for Sosa to show him exactly what he was doing well and what he was doing wrong. You could see even by his action, he was talking about that hand not following through, overthrown and recoiling.
Here's the first pitch, and that one is fouled back by Maldonado. Back to the screen. Boone Logan was with Colorado last year and had a 2-5 record for the Rockies. ERA was 3.69. Lefty specialist. Opponents hit just 166 against him last season. He gave up only 27 hits in 46 1/3 innings.
That's a good pickup by Cleveland. An already deep, strong bullpen to begin with.
And there's one in there for a strike. Logan has averaged just a shade over 11 strikeouts every 9 innings of work for the last 5 years.
How about those two lefties between him and Miller in the bullpen for Cleveland? Cody Allen, power right arm.
Yeah. And there's a cut and a miss, and down on strikes goes Maldonado. Struck him out. So one away. Fans, don't forget, host a business function or celebrate a special occasion in your own private suite at the Big A. Suite rentals offer all-inclusive food and beverage packages. Visit angels.com/suites to reserve your suite today. So one gone, and here is Eric Young Jr., who is 0 for 1. And here comes the pitch. The first one is a little bit inside. It misses ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. The Indians roster, and it was certainly good enough to send them into the World Series a year ago. Their roster hasn't changed over that much from a year ago. There's a pitch low. Logan has been one of their additions, and certainly the other one, the big one, which kind of surprised people, the addition of Edwin Encarnacion.
That's a huge pickup for Cleveland.
And there's a cut and a miss.
No miss the leadership and the power numbers for Mike Napoli, who's moved on down to the Texas Rangers. But Encarnacion, his power numbers amongst the best in baseball for a number of years now.
Yep. Here's the next pitch, and Logan delivers that one low. The other player I think the Indians will miss to some degree is Rajai Davis, who certainly stepped up for them in the postseason.
Yeah, Aroldis Chapman, will remember him very well.
Yep.
Game 7. That baseball got out in a hurry to left field against a power fastball from Chapman.
But other than that, a lot of people back on this Cleveland club for a year ago, and that's why excitement is certainly high as far as Indians baseball on the shores of Lake Erie.
Yes, season tickets increased from last year. They were pretty low in attendance for a team that was so successful last year. And a lot of excitement in Cleveland now for this baseball team, similar to what we saw back in the heyday in the 90s when they had all those mashers on the team.
Yep, they had all those sellouts, over 450 of them in a row, going back to 1996, right on through the 2001 season. And they've failed to draw even 2 million fans a season now for 8 years in a row. So hopefully there'll be a few more people there at Progressive Field in 2017. Pitch missed for ball 4 on Young, so he's on. He has a 1-out walk. Angels have a base runner. First walk issued by Cleveland pitching today. They lead it 3-0 as the Angels bat here in the 5th. Shane Robinson bats now, and he lines that one into left center field. That ball's in the gap. It's going to split the outfielders and roll all the way out to the wall. Coming in and scoring will be Eric Young Jr. Headed for third. Diving in there with an RBI triple is Shane Robinson. So he's really been picking up some hits lately. He's 2 for 2 today. He had that 3 for 3 day a couple games ago off the bench.
Good level swing for Shane Robinson. Good base running, too, by Eric Young Jr. He cut the angles of the bases and scored that one easily. Pitch was up in the strikes and just above the belt for Shane Robinson. Got that weight back, shifted perfectly, able to get the barrel of the bat out and drive out one in the left center field, picking up a triple in scoring position himself.
So the Angels are on the board.
And this is something you wouldn't normally see during the regular season, Terry. 3-1 lead for Cleveland with the infield in, the man on third. It's all about getting that practice.
Sherman Johnson taking that pitch for a strike. Boone Logan is pitching for the third time this spring for the Indians, and now in 1 2/3 innings he's given up 4 hits and 5 earned runs. So he has struggled a bit with his new club. Here's the pitch, and that's a low and inside.
Yeah, Francona, we just want to see how the defense reacts here with the infield in. Logan will probably be in these situations during the regular season.
None of these 4 infielders behind Logan are guys who figure to make their club. Certainly, if any of them do, it would be in a reserve role. Pitch missed for ball 2. It's 2-1 on Sherman Johnson.
Yeah, it would have been fun to see Lindor playing today. What a special player, Francisco Lindor. Jose Ramirez, their third baseman, turned into an excellent player himself.
And the pitch that's lined into right, and making the grab on it is Chisenhall, and he fires the ball back to the infield, and no tagging by Robinson. He remains at third base. Well, that ball got out there so quickly. Chisenhall struggled with it a little bit, kind of almost went down to a knee catching that ball, but he quickly got the ball back to the infield. Yeah. So that's out number 2.
Yeah, watching Ron Renick's going to go over to talk to Shane Robinson. And that play like this is a baseball hit in the air. You're going to score anyhow if it lands in the grass or if it's going to be caught. You get right back to the base and tag up. See Shane getting caught in between, thinking that ball's going to land, but he's got to be right back at the base right away to be able to tag up. Well, it would have been a bang-bang play, but he's going to be able to score more than likely on that ball being caught by Chisenhall. Again, you get right back to the base and tag up.
So here's Fontana, and he takes the first pitch, and that missed ball 1. Now with 2 outs, the infield is back. Outfield not too deep. Fontana grounded out to second, his first at bat, and he checks on that one low and away.
So that was a pretty impressive swing by Sherman on that fastball from Logan. Hit the shot out to right field. Not able to get the RBI out of it, though.
Lefty-lefty matchup here. And here's the pitch. And that is a called strike on the outside part of the plate at the knees. Boone Logan is ready, and his next delivery tried to work him inside with that one, and that pitch misses for a ball. Logan signed kind of late with Cleveland in the offseason.
Well, a lot of the big name power hitters took a long time to sign with clubs.
Here's the pitch, and that one is low, and he walks him. So that's the second batter he's walked here in the inning. Angels have him at the corners, and Maben will be the batter. And now Terry Francona is coming out to the mound, and he is signaled to the bullpen. So we are going to have a new pitcher coming in. Logan threw 19 pitches, and he will be finished for the day. So a pitching change coming up. When we get back, we'll see if the Angels can take advantage of things here with 2 outs, trailing 3-1. Pitching change coming up on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Indians bring in right-handed reliever Lewis Head to work here with 2 outs and 2 on, and he's facing Cameron Maben, and the first pitch is a ball to count 1-0.
Maben's still looking for that first hit of spring. Maybe be the perfect time to get that.
Head is up from their minor league campus as his first appearance for the Indians in the Cactus League. And here's his next delivery, and Maben tried to hold up, went around on that one, and the count even. It's 1 ball 1 strike.
Pretty sharp slider there from Head.
Yeah. So we'll see if Maben, who has yet to get that first spring hit, can do it here. 0 for 14 so far this spring. He takes that one for a strike, and now he's in the hole. The count jumps to 1-2. Cam Maben was a .315 hitter last year with the Detroit Tigers.
You know, when a hitter you're caught in between that one, you let a fastball middle in after chasing a slider the pitch before. Now if you're a pitcher on the mound there, you got to think in terms of a frustrated hitter, didn't track that one real well, probably throw him a breaking ball even out of the strike zone to see if you get him to chase.
So Head has the sign from his catcher. There goes the runner at first. The pitch is missed, and it's a strikeout against Maben, and that's how the inning will end. So the young reliever comes in, gets the final out. Angels will leave a pair on base, and as we head to the bottom of the 5th, it's a 3-1 Cleveland lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Getting loose out on the mound, and ready to pitch in about a minute or so will be Cam Bedrosian as he comes into his first game this spring. Bedrosian was sidelined going back to last August. Small blood clot near his right armpit, and the Angels have been kind of cautious with him so far this spring. Bedrosian in 45 games a year ago, 2-0 record, ERA 1.12. He allowed only 1 home run all of last season in 45 relief appearances. So he's ready to go. First appearance for the Angels here in the Cactus League, and the first pitch that's fouled back by Stamets for strike 1.
I think the big thing with the reason why you saw that next level for Cam Bedrosian was his ability to throw his breaking ball. A couple different speeds with that, throw it for strikes, and also have that wipeout breaking ball to get a swing and miss. The velocity on the fastball has been there, but its ability to throw his breaking ball for a strike, to set up the hitters, to chase occasionally the strike out of the zone with his breaking ball.
There's a fastball that missed high. We saw Bedrosian hit 98 miles per hour last year with his fastball. 51 strikeouts last year for him in just over 40 innings. Here's the next pitch, and that caught the inside corner for a strike.
That's exactly it. That breaking ball, able to throw for a strike. Now, as a hitter, because you're trying to gear up to 98 on a fastball, now you see a pitcher that can throw his break a ball for a strike. It's very difficult to lay off one of those out of the strike zone.
Here's the next pitch, and that one is waved at and missed. He struck him out. So Stamets strikes out for the second time today. Angels pitching with 7 strikeouts. Bedrosian replacing Middleton, who worked last inning. Middleton had a hitless and scoreless inning with 1 walk and no strikeouts.
And you get that swing out of the strike zone because you were able to throw that breaking ball that pitched before for a strike. Good late action on that breaking ball to get a swing and miss for Bedrosian.
So Kipnis is the batter, left-handed hitting second baseman, playing, well, not necessarily playing, but he's the DH for them here today. And the first pitch was in there for strike, 0-1. Shift is on, 3 infielders on the right side. Bedrosian's next pitch, and that's up and in. That one backed him off the plate right there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Always had that batting stance where he has the bat level low before getting in his proper position to try to swing the bat, bring the bat up.
There's a shot the opposite way. It's going to bounce on out to Revere. That'll be an opposite field 1-out single for Kipnis. So he went with that pitch and has the single. Austin Jackson will be the next batter. Well, when we went into the start of spring training, we thought it would be kind of a 3-man race for that closer spot. Now it looks like we're down to a 2-man race, and Bedrosian out there on the mound, certainly factoring into what could happen as far as the Angel closer. And Andrew Bailey's supposed to pitch here today as well.
He definitely has closer stuff. Now, there's a lot of pitchers that have that, but it's that intangible you have to be able to close off a game with the game on the line, facing the very best hitters, whether they're in the lineup or coming off the bench in that 9th inning. Definitely has it in his blood. His dad won a Cy Young as a closer.
So 1 strike to count. Next pitch, a cut and a miss, and he moves in front on Jackson. It's now 0-2.
2 sons of closers today in the game. James Russell, Jeff Russell, a closer. Steve Bedrosian, closer, Cy Young award-winning closer. Now we got Cam Bedrosian.
Indeed.
Yes. The pedigree.
Yeah, good pedigree. You're right. And here's the next delivery, and that one is cut on and missed, and he did not waste any time at all polishing off Austin Jackson. So a pair of strikeouts, and boy, Bedrosian's first outing this spring, he looks real good.
Under control. That was an excellent wipeout breaking ball to get a swing and miss. The big thing, a lot of times you're ahead of the can, you'll see pitchers overthrow. They're falling towards first base. His mechanics, smooth, compact. For Cam Bedrosian, perfect spot, swing and miss.
Chisenhall, the batter. They'll put the shift on him as well, left-handed hitter. Kipnis will run. He had 15 stolen bases last year, not on the first pitch, and that's a first pitch fastball was high. 1-0 the count. Indians have 3 runs, 6 hits. Angels 1 run, 4 hits. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the next pitch. Late with the swing is Chisenhall. Fouls that one off on the left side, backing out of play. Well, of course, we've talked about it in the past when we've been together. Mark and I have known each other for a long time, back to our days in Philadelphia. We came to the ballpark here today in Goodyear, and they're making cheesesteaks. And even the Mr. Softy truck is out there. Yes. Down the left side. Like being at home, Gooby.
I know. They thought we were coming today. Well, we've been here back-to-back days. They just made sure we were the comforts of home.
There you go. And that one is a little bit inside for a ball.
By the way, those cheesesteaks did smell very good.
They did.
You had to walk by it. Oh,
yep.
Very good.
And for people that might be wondering, well, what's Mr. Softy? It's kind of like a frozen custard.
Yes, very, very good.
Yep. And here's the pitch. That one is swinging a foul tip.
This little off-speed pitch from Cam.
Yeah, I think it was last year he was throwing a slurve that was kind of a new pitch for him, along with that slider that can be a wipeout pitch, and of course the very good fastball he'll throw. Here's the next delivery. That bounces in. Good block on it by Maldonado. Boy, he kept that ball perfectly right in front of him. No advancement by the base runner Kipnis over there.
Boy, great technique. As his shoulders squared up, the body in front, the glove down to make sure that baseball was not getting by. Mike Scioscia's got to feel real good about seeing that play by Maldonado behind the plate. Plus, if you're Cam Bedrosian or any other pitcher on the staff, you see a catcher that's able to keep that baseball in front of you. It gives you that comfort zone to be able to throw that hard breaker ball in the dirt to try to get a swing and miss, knowing it's not going to get away from the catcher.
So it's a full count, 3-2. And here's the next delivery, and it just missed, low and outside. So they have him at first and second, 2 outs. Yan Gomes, the batter. He's 1 for 2 in this ball game. Kipnis, the lead runner. He's at second. Now Chisenhall on at first. 16 pitches here in this inning for Bedrosian, his first appearance of the spring.
Yan Gomes always very aggressive on the first pitch, so it's going to be important for Cam to locate this first pitch in the strike zone.
Gabriel Mejia is going to run over there at first base for Chisenhall. Mejia is a minor leaguer up with them today. He's an outfielder. Very well could stay in the ball game and play in right field. So here's the first one on Gomes, and it's low and away, ball 1. Bedrosian trying to close out the inning, and the next pitch, and that's taken for a called strike. 1-1. Angels right-hander checking second, and the pitch, and that one is a little bit low, stopped by Maldonado.
Now, as the pitch count gets up there for Cam Bedrosian, very important to be able to maintain his mechanics. Talked about and showed that one strikeout he had of Austin Jackson. Stay very compact. Going to try to do the same here to be able to finish off this inning. No damage against Yan Gomes here.
Cam is ready, and here's the next pitch. Lifted foul right side. That's going to get back and out of play. So it's a 2-2 count on Gomes. Some people wondered whether or not Gomes would hold on to his catching spot this year. After Roberto Perez, he didn't hit for average when he replaced Gomes last year, but he did a good job in the postseason for them. Hit under 200 during the regular season. So Gomes looking to reestablish himself as the Indians' #1 catcher, and he takes that one outside.
And Gomes, even when healthy last year, wasn't as effective defensively as he has been in the past, but we've seen so far in this game he certainly has, with a couple base runners he has thrown out with lasers to second base.
Gomes hit 167 last year, and his on-base percentage was .201. So another full count. We'll see if Bedrosian can get the final out. The pitch, it's hit in the air into center field. Going back on it is Young. Eric Young is under. He'll make the grab on it, and that will end the inning. That'll do it for the Indians. They leave a pair on. They've stranded 4 through 5, but they do have a 3-1 lead against the Angels as we head to the 6th here in Goodyear on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. We have a few changes here for the Indians as the Angels get ready to bat in inning number 6, trailing at 3-1. There's a new pitcher. Steve Delabar will take over. He's pitched at the major league level in the past. We saw him at one time with the Toronto Blue Jays. And they have a new center fielder, Gabriel Mejia, who came in to pinch run for Chisenhall, will take over in center. Jordan Smith is the right fielder, and Guillermo Quiros is the catcher. And here's the pitch, and that one is in there for a called strike.
Ryan Delabar's always had that power arm himself. Really came back into the focus in the major leagues, working on that weighted ball, throwing that to be able to gain arm strength and pick up some velocity on his fastball. A lot of pitchers are using that right now, throwing weighted baseballs to gain some strength in that shoulder to be able to throw the baseball more consistently and harder.
Delabar spent a little bit of time with the Reds last year, 7 games for Cincinnati. And here's the next pitch. That's fouled off on the left side. This guy was actually an all-star back to 2013, Steve Delabar. And he's had kind of a roller coaster ride, pitched independent league baseball. He was out of baseball after he fractured his elbow. Was a substitute teacher for a while. Next one on Revere, smacked on the third base side, and that is going to be a fair ball. Hitting in the way a little bit on the left side was the third base umpire. The ball skipped off the glove of Schaefer. It's an infield hit, though, for Ben Revere, so he keeps on getting his hits.
Hey, that's going to be a base hit no matter what. It's up to Schaefer to make sure that ball didn't get down the line against him. Otherwise, that's going to be a double.
Alan Porter, who's now the third base umpire, and that ball skip off the glove of Schaefer and get a piece of him, and then he went down right on his back over by the third base coaching box. Everybody's okay. So here's Danny Espinosa. Angels have the leadoff man on, and the pitch, that's pitch that misses for a ball. As Delabar works here, he is pitcher number 5 of the day. David Fletcher has come in to run for Ben Revere over at first base. So his day is over, and the pitch that's smacked foul over on the right side.
2 more hits again today for Revere, a stolen base. Paul Sorrento talked about him in our opening today, about how well his approach has been, and he's healthy, putting the ball in play, hitting the ball the other way, hitting the ball on the ground and on the line.
Delabar's next pitch, a little bit low. So he's falling behind. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike as Delabar works. This is his 5th appearance this spring, so they've been taking a look at him. He has had control issues so far in the Cactus League. 6 walks coming in just 4 innings. He's behind here 2-1 on Espinosa. Toss over to first. Fletcher, the pinch runner, gets back safely. See what happens on the next one, and it's on its way. It misses high and outside, so he's fallen behind. It's now 3-1. Steve Delabar from Fort Knox, Kentucky.
You are the information highway there, Terry.
I try to be.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know that Fort Knox has produced a whole lot of ball players.
Some gold, though, right?
That's right. Might be more known for finances.
Yes.
Here's the pitch. Runner goes. The pitch is low, and that's ball 4. So Delabar, we mentioned having some issues with his command this spring. Walks the second batter he faces, and the Angels have something going on here with 2 on, nobody out. And Marte will be the next batter. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner now for Danny Espinosa. Caleb Adams is going to run. He's up from minor league camp. So the Angels have a couple of their young players in there, pinch runners. Here's the pitch. And that went on Marte as a ball. Unable to find it is the new catcher Quiros. And by the time he throws to third, the throw's late. So that one hit off the glove of Quiros. Then he had no idea the new catcher came in to replace Gomes in the inning.
Credit the read by, especially by Fletcher, to go on that one, especially sees the catcher not knowing exactly where the baseball went, not really that far away from him, as he tried to catch that and bring it back, and on the transfer unable to do so. But Fletcher read that one well. Both runners able to advance.
Next pitch fouled back behind the plate. They ended up scoring that wild pitch on the one where both Fletcher and Adams advanced the base.
That's another wild pitch. They're very they're taking care of the catchers here today.
Yeah, they are. 1-1 is the count. Base hit here could tie up this game. The pitch, and that caught the inside corner, and Marte wasn't too happy with that call. Mike Casiopo is the home plate umpire.
It's been pretty consistent throughout this game.
Yeah. Infield is backed up with runners at second and third, and the next one on Marte breaks his bat, bounces the ball down to third. Only one chance for an out first base. The throw is in time. So the Angels get a run there on the 5-3 ground out. Adams remains at second. He did not advance, but Fletcher scores on the ground out. Now it's a 3-2 Cleveland lead.
That was a good read again by Fletcher. It's going to be a very difficult play, especially with the bat going towards the third baseman, a slow roller, to have any kind of chance to throw home. Read it well, scores the second run of the game for the Angels.
So Marte drives in another run this spring.
See, with that off-balance throw would have been very difficult to throw home. Good read by Fletcher. Got some high fives as he went back into the dugout with that read.
There's Maldonado cutting and missing the first pitch for a strike. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. Terry Smith, Mark Gubison, our producer engineer Jorge Sevilla with you here in Goodyear. Angels trying to get some more on the board, down by just a run now. Next pitch to Maldonado. He takes and a miss for a ball. The count's even at 1-1. The Indians have been on top in this game since the second inning, but the Angels have sliced the lead to a run after getting behind at 1.3-0. There's one that's cut on and miss for a strike. Maldonado with the handle of that bat taped up, kind of a fluorescent looking color. Here's the next pitch, and he waves at that one, and he got him, struck him out. Like a good slider there. Tough day for Maldonado at the plate. 0 for 3, a couple strikeouts. Now the Angels have 2 outs with the runner at second, potential tying run, and Eric Young Jr. the batter.
It's a real sharp slider off the plate, head of the count. Dellamar is able to expand the strike zone and get Maldonado to chase with that slider out of the zone. That's the importance of getting ahead of the count as compared to behind in the count. You're not going to chase that as a hitter.
Here's the pitch. Young takes low and away. Here comes the next one, and it's chopped foul right over the Cleveland first base dugout. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Eric Young Jr. He's gone 2 for 15 this spring. 31 years old, major league experience. Switch hitter awaits the 1-1. It's on its way, and it's grounded sharply, but right to second. Scooped up there by Ronnie Rodriguez. He will throw out Young, and that's how the inning wins. So the Angels, just like last inning, settle for one. Had one hit in the inning and leave one runner on base. Bottom of the sixth is next. 3-2 Indians on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels make a few changes defensively as we get set to start off the bottom of the sixth inning. Caleb Adams, who came in as a pinch runner for Danny Espinosa, he'll stay in the game in left field. Ben Revere had been lifted for a pinch runner in the top of the inning, and also the pinch runner for him was David Fletcher, and he will take over for Danny Espinosa at second. The new pitcher is Andrew Bailey. And Andrew Bailey replaces Cam Bedrosian, who worked last inning. Bedrosian worked a scoreless inning. He gave up a hit, walked one, struck out two in his first inning this spring. So Bailey is the fourth pitcher of the day. And as far as this appearance for him, it'll be his third. He's worked just an inning and 2/3 so far this spring. He has allowed 2 hits, 4 earned runs. He's walked 4, struck out 3, so he's had a little bit of a tough time so far and limited action in the Cactus League.
Yeah, especially that last time out with control, command of the strike zone.
He's ready, and the next pitch, this is Almonte batting for the Indians, and he takes another pitch and a missed ball too. Bottom of the sixth. It's being brought to you today by our friends at Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet is pursuing excellence every day. You can visit them at Rotolo.com. That's Rotolo.com. And the next pitch fouled back behind the plate, and the count 2-1. We've seen Shoemaker, Middleton, Bedrosian, and now Bailey. Here's the pitch, and that is a little bit outside. Bailey did a good job when the Angels picked him up last season, and then the Angels didn't waste a whole lot of time re-signing him in the offseason. Signed him to a 1-year deal.
I remember having some conversation with him in the end of September. He said he was hoping to get the opportunity to put the Angel uniform on again this season.
He misses high with that fastball, and he walks the first batter. He faces Almonte on 5 pitches, so a leadoff walk. third walk of the day issued by Angels pitching. And here is Richie Schaefer, who's had a double. He scored a run. He's also flied out.
Almonte can run a little bit.
He leads off first base. Bailey's pitch. And that's right in there for a called strike. Andrew Bailey, sinking fastball, will throw a cutter and a changeup. Did a real nice job last year with the Angels. In his 12 appearances, ERA was just 2.38. And a toss over to first, and diving back to the bag goes the base runner Almonte. That throw by Bailey almost was over the head of Marte. He had to reach high in the air to catch it.
And Sandy Alomar Jr. was trying to get out of the way also of that throw. First base coach for Cleveland.
Right-hander against right-hander. Runner not going. The pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Schaefer. Angels infield playing it at double play depth. Bailey now ready to come in. He's way in front. The 0-2 delivery. The Angels pitch out. Nothing doing.
And one thing you have to try to do as a pitcher, when there's a pitch out, you want to try to keep everything the same. It looked like Andrew Bailey was quicker to the plate. As a base runner, you recognize that. When you see something different from a pitcher, that's when you stay put. Quicker to the plate for Bailey, more of a slide step, different than his normal delivery. That's why Almonte did not go.
So the count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bailey will toss over to first, and back again goes Almonte. So the Angels paying attention to him. 6th inning here in Goodyear. The Angels have come back to get within a run of the Cleveland Indians. It's a 3-2 Cleveland lead. There goes the runner, and the pitch is low. The throw to second base. It is late. Well, Maldonado threw that one from his knees there and just didn't get quite as much on that throw. It was still a fairly close play, but a stolen base for Almonte.
From the knees through that, like Benito Santiago. But a pretty good jump from Almonte. And I think he might have even been going on that 0-2 pitch, but Bailey was a little bit quicker. He's more deliberate and holds the baseball a lot longer on his normal follow through, but Almonte read that.
So it's a 2-2 count on Schaefer. Next delivery, and that is low and outside. So full count. Bailey so far this spring has struggled with his control. In an inning and 2/3, he's walked 5. And he's worked a full count here after walking the first batter Almonte. 3-2 on Schaefer. This will be his 11th pitch here in the inning, and it's on its way, and it's fouled back to our right, backing out of play. Angels back in Tempe tomorrow, as the Angels will be hosting the Padres. J.C. Ramirez will make the start. Originally, that would have been Tyler Skaggs' spot to pitch, but Skaggs has been pushed back. We're not sure exactly when his next start will be. A little bit of mild shoulder issues. Here's the pitch. That's hit well down the left field side. Chasing back and now under, making the grab on it is Caleb Adams. That was off the end of the bat right there. It initially looked like it was going to go a little deeper than it did.
You know, this is enough action, late action on the fastball to keep that in the yard, because he had a pretty good hack at it. He was looking fastball. Enough movement on that pitch from Bailey to keep it in the yard and jammed him.
So that's the first out. The batter now will be Nelly Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been up twice today. He's been playing first base for them. Young, power hitting infielder in the Indians organization. 26 home runs a year ago in the minors.
Bailey varying that look back to second base. Almonte trying to time him, make sure he does look back once or twice, changes it up. Otherwise, he's going to go.
Bailey set, delivers. That's hit hard, but a foul ball down the left side. 0-1 is the count. Pretty good crowd on hand here today for the Angels and the Indians. Yet to get the official attendance here today.
These moments in spring training you've worked on a lot in your pitcher's fielding drills where maybe look for that daylight play, pickoff play at second base.
Bailey is set. Takes a peek at second. Next pitch, framing that one was Maldonado, but it missed for a ball. The Angels will have one more game here at this ballpark this spring, and that'll be in a little less than 2 weeks, but it'll be the Angels taking on the Reds here in Goodyear. This is the only game the Angels and Indians square off against each other here this spring. Of course, the teams will match up during the regular season. And the pitch, and that one is low and away.
Well, Fletcher put a pickoff on the daylight play, but Bailey didn't pick him up. He was at second base. Just flashed that hand, and you're supposed to pick that up as a pitcher, spin around and make that quick throw to second base.
Bailey is set. Here's the 2-1, and it's a pitch he chases and misses for a strike. 2-2.
Good break ball from Andrew Bailey on that one. His ability to be able to throw a breaking ball in a fastball count, very important for him now.
Bailey is not a real quick worker, and you kind of sense he's trying to get into a little bit of rhythm out there on the mound. He's thrown a lot of pitches here, facing just his third batter. He's already at 16 pitches in the inning. He's ready, and here's the next one, and that's just a little bit outside. It misses, so a full count.
Again, Fletcher was going towards second base just in case Andrew Bailey picked him up. He quickly throw back to second base. Almonte's got a pretty good lead. He's not moving around. He's not being distracted with Fletcher going towards the base. If Bailey's quick enough, he might have a shot at picking him off.
So he's about ready for the 3-2. It's on its way, and it's smacked down to third base. It's fielded by Johnson. His throw is high, but jumping up and landing on the bag is Marte. So the Angels get the out there. You kind of had to hold your breath whether or not that ball was going to be caught by Marte. It was. It got him back on the bag after he made the leaping grab on it. The throw from Johnson. So on the play, Almonte moves to third. 2 outs, and here's Ronnie Rodriguez. He's had a 2-run single in his 2 times up. Angels infield is back for the most part, although Sherman Johnson is right across in the bag at third. Here's the first pitch. Little low and misses. Bailey's been getting behind just about every hitter in the inning.
Exactly, and Maldonado brought in Sherman Johnson to bring him closer towards the base, not only to be able to take a potential bunt away, but also a pick towards third base if Almonte drifts too far down the line.
Here's the next pitch, and that one is fouled back right in this direction here, but it hit off the screen.
It's a perfect screen here, by the way.
Yes, just high enough.
Just high enough, yes.
Otherwise, those babies are flying in here. So it's a 1-1 count. Here's the next delivery, and that's high. So Bailey behind another hitter. It hasn't cost him yet in this inning. But it's not going easy for him out there on the mound. He's at 21 pitches here in the inning, facing only his 4th batter, the leadoff walk, and he's retired the next 2, but he's been getting behind just about every hitter at some point in the count. Here's the next pitch, and that is a cut and a miss. So he's evened it up 2-2 on Ronnie Rodriguez. Stamets, the 9-hole hitter, would be up next.
See if Bailey can finish on a strong note here, throw a breaking ball, see if he can get a swing and miss to finish off this inning. His fastball ability to throw in the strike zone has not been there for him at this point, but his breaking ball has been pretty solid. And his cutter.
Here's the next delivery, and that was a pitch that was up and in, a high one that Rodriguez went after. That was way out of the strike zone, but he chased it. The strikeout will end the inning. So after all that, a scoreless inning for Andrew Bailey. 7th inning is right around the corner. It's a 3-2 Cleveland lead on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Number of changes here for the Indians, and we'll pick those up for you in just a bit. They do have a new pitcher in the game, and Kyle Crockett, a left-hander who's been up and down with the Indians for a few seasons, will take over on the lefty's first pitch. That one on Shane Robinson. He was taking, and the first delivery missed for a ball. The count 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, this Cleveland bullpen does have some lefties down there.
Here's the next delivery. It's bounced right to short, and the throw over to first is in time. Stamets is one of the few players they haven't taken out, so his throw gets Shane Robinson, and there's one away. Crockett replaces Head, or Delabar, I should say, who worked last inning, and Kyle Crockett is the 6th pitcher of the day for Cleveland. Delabar gave up 1 hit, 1 run last inning. He walked 1, struck out 1, and he also threw a wild pitch. Next batter for the Angels, Sherman Johnson. First pitch on him is in there for a strike. 0-1. Crockett delivers, and the next pitch bounced by the mound, and through it rolls into center field. That'll be a 1-out hit. Sherman Johnson's first hit today. Nolan Fontana will be the batter. Crockett, 29 games last year for the Indians. ERA was 5.06. Pitched only 16 innings. He's kind of known as a lefty specialist, fastball, slider, and changeup. He was a guy a few years ago, 2014 season, had a 1.35 ERA for Cleveland, but numbers not nearly like that a year ago. Here's the next delivery, and that one is taken low for a ball.
Really good at bat by Sherman Johnson. Base hit. His last at bat, that line drive in the right field that Chisenhall was able to catch and prevent Shane Robinson from tagging up and scoring on. There's big lead.
Toss over to first. Runner gets back. Willie Mo Pena, who used to be a big prospect.
The Willie Mo?
Yeah, it's the same guy. He's over there playing first base for them. He's really moved around over the years.
That's a big fella. Yep. He is big.
Pena has spent time in Japan, and he was signed by the Indians. Take a look at him because he's real good friends with Edwin Encarnacion, and at the recommendation of Encarnacion, the Indians signed Willie Mo Pena to a minor league deal. So
yeah, when he connects with the baseball, it goes a long, long way.
Yep. He's now 35 years old, 6'3", and he's got to be a good 270 or so. He's a big guy. Here's the next pitch. Fouled off on the left side, backing out of play. They also have a new third baseman in the ball game. Mark Mathias is playing that position for Cleveland now, replacing Richie Schaefer. Ready is Crockett. Counts 1-2 in the next pitch, and that's outside on Fontana. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Angels have some action in the bullpen. Jose Valdez is warming up. New second baseman in the game for Cleveland is Yu Chang. Runner goes, pitch is low, and no throw by the catcher Quiros. That's going to be a stolen base and an easy one for Sherman Johnson against the lefty.
Good read going on that first movement. As a catcher, you have no chance if the runner reads that well and goes on that first movement from a lefty pitcher. Just another stolen base for the Angels here in spring training.
So the count's full. We'll see what gives on the 3-2. Crockett's pitch fouled off again on the left side. So pretty good battle here. Fontana hanging tough with 2 strikes. The attendance here this afternoon in Goodyear, 5,363, 53-63. Today's paid attendance. Dorsey Spolino is now playing in left field for the Indians, and the 3-2 delivery, that one is taken by Fontana, and it's a called third strike.
Yeah, Crockett was able to paint that outside corner with a fastball from that arm angle. 3/4 delivery, paints the corner, gets the call. Big strikeout.
Kruger will be pinch hitting here for Cameron Maben. Maben was 0 for 3 today, still hitless this spring. Kruger has done a good job at the plate in his limited at bats so far this spring. Here's the pitch, and that's a fastball, misses high for ball 1. Kruger's had 3 hits and 4 times up so far in the Cactus League. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled back to the screen. So the count level, it's 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Angels have the potential tying run at second in scoring position. Sherm Johnson is the base runner there. Angels have not held a lead today, but trailed by just a run, 3-2. Crockett ready. There goes Johnson. He's running again. The pitch, it's lined down the right field side. That's down in the right field corner, and that is a fair ball. That's going to tie up the ball game. Kruger is going to get another hit for the Angels. So he has tied it up with that single. And Jack Kruger now is 4 for 5. He's hitting .800.
That's pretty good. Good math right away, Terry. When you're 4 for 5, that's a lot of base hits. And a good swing right there. We talked about the ability to go the other way, right down that right field line and hit hard by Kruger.
So the Angels, who were down 3-0, have battled back to tie it at 3. And a 2-out run. So we'll see what Fletcher can do as he bats for the first time. A hit here could give the Angels the lead, and David Fletcher takes the first one for a strike. He's had 5 hits, 12 at bats, hitting over 400 this spring.
And certainly credit that run to Sherman Johnson. Gets a base hit, steals a bag, he's going on that pitch, and scores easily on the double.
Here's the next one from Crockett. That's a liner, but at the third baseman. And Mathias, the new third baseman, holds on. And that will end the inning. Angels do tie it here in the 7th. And in the inning, had a pair of hits, leave a runner on. We are headed to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time. It's 3-3, Angels and Indians on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Bottom of the 7th we go. Jose Valdez is going to take over for Andrew Bailey. Bailey worked a hitless and scoreless inning last inning. He did walk a batter, and he also had a strikeout. So Valdez comes in, and he is the 4th reliever of the day for the Angels' 5th pitcher. He'll become the pitcher of record with the Angels having tied this ball game up at 3. Bo Way is now playing center field for the Angels, and Jared Foster is now playing right field. A couple of players up from minor league camp, and here's the pitch. This is popped up on the right side, shallow right field. Camping under is the new right fielder Jared Foster. He'll make the catch on that one for the out.
Automatic. That baseball will find you as soon as you get in the game.
Foster was the player a few days ago. I think it was the Angels game against the White Sox. who went back on a ball in left field at Camelback Ranch and got the cleats stuck in the chain link fence.
Yes.
It found them there too right away. Looks like Tyler Naquin is going to pinch hit here, so he's batting for Kipnis. And Kipnis, who is the DH for the Indians today in his first game this spring, went 1 for 3. First one on Naquin, and that's in there from Valdez for strike 1.
Had a real solid rookie campaign for Cleveland last year.
There's another pitch he tried to hold up on, went around, and it's 0-2 on Naquin. Hit .296 last year for the Indians. Left-handed batter, former first-round pick. And here's the next delivery. He lifts that one high in the air, and it's hit well to right field, and that one is going to leave. Little doubt about that one. He jumped all over that pitch of Valdez and hits it out. Pinch hit homer, and just like that, the Indians are back on top. It's now 4-3 Cleveland.
And Naquin last year at times had a tough time catching up to firm fastballs, but that one's the lower part of the strike zone, the happy zone for a left-handed batter, and he hit that one out a long way. Lower part of the strike zone, that zone right there where the left-handed batter could drop the head of the bat, and he drove that one out with authority out the right field.
So here is Jordan Smith, a left-handed batter who fouls that one off on the left side, backing out of play. Former 9th-round pick of the Indians. He's an outfielder, Jordan Smith.
You like saying that name, don't you?
I do. That's my son's name.
Yes, you do.
Here's the next delivery, and that one is chopped and through into right center field. So it's a base hit for Jordan Smith. That was his first at bat today. And now Mejia will be stepping up. This is going to be his first at bat. Gabriel Mejia, who came in as a pinch runner back in the 5th inning. So Valdez, after getting the first batter in the inning, has given up back-to-back hits and the run on the homer by Naquin. Here's the pitch, and that is in there on Mejia for a called strike. Ready to come in is Valdez, and here's the next pitch. It's chopped foul over on the right side. Let's fill you in on what's been happening in Cactus League play. White Sox and D-backs, 8th inning, 4-2 White Sox. Reds and A's, 6th inning, 12-2. Oakland leading that one. Mariners and Cubs, 4-4, bottom of the 8th. Brewers have a 7-2 lead against the Padres. That's in the 6th inning. And the pitch, it's a ball lined right to second. Fletcher makes the grab, fires the first base, and they double up Smith, and the inning is over on the double play. So right there to make that catch was David Fletcher, and fires that throw to get the runner late getting back to the bag. A run in the inning. The Indians had 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. So the 8th is coming up. Cleveland is back on top by a run. They lead the Angels 4-3 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. New pitcher for the Indians, Nick Goody, will take over as he replaces Kyle Crockett. And here's his first pitch on Caleb Adams, who is batting for the Angels. Adams is in his second game this spring for the Angels, but this is his first at bat. Pitch was in there on Caleb Adams. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Here's Goody's next pitch, and that is taken, and that's in there for strike 2. Goody came over to the Indians in a deal with the Yankees in December. Right-hander ready on the next pitch. Adams taking that one low for a ball. This appearance for the right-hander Nick Goody. He's working for the 4th time. He has 3 scoreless innings of work. He's set, and the 1-2. Adams check sets a little bit low for a ball.
You can see that good breaking ball he has back-to-back after getting hit 0-2. Tried to get Adams a chase out of the strike zone. That one just missed a little bit off the corner.
The Indians have a new shortstop in the ball game, and Willie Castro is his name. He replaces Eric Stamets. And the next pitch chopped on the third base side. Matthias has it. His throw takes Pena off the bag, plus the ball pops out of his glove. And safe at first base will be Caleb Adams. Figures to be an error on that play. So the Angels have the leadoff man on, representing the tying run, and Jeffrey Marte is going to get another at bat. He's still in the ball game.
Yeah, Pena tried to be quick catching the ball and applying a tag, but did not get the ball in the glove and keep it in there to be able to apply a tag to be able to get the out.
Here's the pitch. This is chopped down to third. Matthias, a nice stop, goes to second for 1. The relay to first. That's a double play. Boy, when that one left the bat of Marte, you thought maybe you might have a shot to get by the third baseman, but not only did Matthias stop it, he turned it into 2 outs.
Yeah, that ball was hit very, very well by Marte. Matthias, nice play, and then a good throw, quick throw to second base to complete a 5-4-3 double play. But off the bat, you're right, Terry. I thought that might have been a double, at least down that line.
So solid defense by the Indians on that play after the error on the ball that was hit by Adams. And here is Francisco Arcia batting for the Angels, and the pitch to him is taken for ball 1. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Arcia batting for Maldonado, his spot in the batting order. Angel catcher. Here's the pitch, and he tries to chase that one and misses it for a strike. Arcia has had not too many at bats so far this spring. This is his 6th, and he's yet to get a hit. 1-1 is the count.
For the Angels, the other 83, number 83, Justin Anderson.
And here's the next delivery. A little flare out of the reach of the third baseman, and that's going to drop into left field for a bloop single. So Arcia gets a hit, his first one this spring. Angels keep the inning alive here with 2 outs in the 8th, down by a run.
Keep putting the ball in play, keep creating opportunities to score.
Jared Foster will be the batter, his first time up. Here's the pitch, and the first one it's taken for a ball. Here's the next delivery that's lined into center field, and that is trouble. It's over the head of Mejia, the center fielder. Going into third base, being waved around is Arcia, and the throw is late. He'll score. Well, he didn't slide there. They almost got him, but he still gets in, and the Angels on that 2-out hit have tied this ball game up.
Well, that was a rocket by Foster to dead center field. A very difficult play for center field. Anything hit that hard straight over your head. But a better relay throw and better communication in the infield there might have been a play at the plate. Because this baseball was scalded so hard. I mean, he was able to get that in quickly. And that's off the wall and turns around and throws it into a cutoff man. And the ball gets away. If it's a quick throw in the shortstop, there's a play at the plate potentially.
So the young player, Jared Foster, who had not had an at-bat this spring. We had seen him get into some action in the outfield, but his first at-bat of the spring, he doubles in the tying run. Gotta like that.
Great sound off the bat.
Yeah. At the plate here is Bo Way, and he is a batter swinging from the left side. He fouls that one off. This is his first at-bat this spring. .261 batting average, Double-A last year. Not a whole lot of power, has some speed. Here comes the pitch, and he takes that 2-strike delivery for a called third strikeout. I'm looking, and that's how the inning will end. But the Angels do get a run to tie it up. 2 more hits, 1 error in the inning. The run thanks to Jared Foster on that RBI double. He is left at second base. So we are headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. We're tied at 4 on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels make a few changes as we get ready to move to the bottom of the 8th inning. Justin Anderson is the new pitcher. He's up from minor league camp. And there's also a new first baseman in the game, also from minor league camp, Luis Tejada. So those are the changes, the way it looks right now as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Guillermo Quiros is the first batter for the Indians, and he cracks his bat, bounces the ball on the first base side. Diving stop by Tejada, flips to the pitcher Anderson, and the Angels get the out. Good job there by the two new additions here this half inning.
We talked about that baseball is a finding, but that was a great play. Finding that baseball by Tejada had to show some pretty good range to get to the baseball on a perfect flip over Anderson at first base to get the first out of the inning. Not an easy play. Good range, perfect feed as the pitcher's covering the base at that point.
So one gone. The ground out goes 3-1. First baseman to pitcher covering. And the batter now is Dorsey's Polino, who came in to play left field. This is his first at bat today. He's hitting out a Almonte spot. And the next delivery, it's taken for a strike. Right-hander Anderson's pitch, and that one is fouled off back behind the plate. So he's come in throwing strikes. The count's 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Angels have had several players appear in this game who are wearing the same numbers, which is nothing new in these Cactus League games. And there's a swing and a miss, and down on strikes goes Polino. So good job by Anderson.
That's pretty good off-speed pitch.
Yeah.
What a thrill it must be for Anderson to get this opportunity to pitch. I remember the first time I was able to pitch in a major league game at a spring training. The first 3 guys I'm facing the White Sox: Ron LaFleur, Carlton Fisk, Greg Luzinski. I don't think I could breathe at that point.
Those are some pretty good names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Believe me, I still remember that was a long time ago. A long time ago.
So at the plate is Willie Mo Pena, veteran player trying to keep his dream alive of getting back to the big leagues. Spent several years playing in Japan, 4 years in fact. And a guy who last played in the majors back in 2011 when he was with Seattle and also with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This guy has tremendous power. 2-1 is the count.
Gotta be real careful here in this fastball count not to groove a fastball middle part of plate against Pena with his power.
Next pitch, and that one is inside. Bottom of the 8th inning, being brought to you today by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every day. Visit them at Rotolo.com. That's Rotolo.com. Anderson set. Next pitch, Pena rifles one foul down the right side, back and out of play. Some other scores today in exhibition play. Rangers taking on Team Venezuela, and Venezuela leading that game. Last time we checked, 5-1 in the 7th. Rockies leading Team Puerto Rico 8-2 in the 6th inning. Here's the next delivery. It's chopped out near second base. Backhanded there by Fletcher, and he will make the stop. Ball is back to the mound just past Anderson, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Nice job by Justin Anderson. He retires Cleveland 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 8th. The 9th inning is coming up. It is anybody's ball game. 4-4 the score on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. So we go to inning number 9. Chris Narveson, who spent a little bit of time last year with the Marlins. 6 appearances for them, will take over. He is a left-hander. He's had some other stops along the way in the majors, and Sherman Johnson will be the first batter to face him. And here's the first pitch, and that one misses high for a ball. To count 1 ball, no strikes. Narveson has worked in 3 other games with a save and a 2.08 ERA this spring for the Indians. There's the pitch. It's low. It's now 2 balls, no strikes.
Sherman Johnson was very instrumental in that run being scored back in the 7th inning. At that point, tied it up at 3. Then on base, steals a base, going on action, and Kruger drove him in with a double.
Pitch is fouled off on the left side, backing out of play. 4-4 the score, 9th inning. Angels have never held a lead today, but keep coming back. Tied it up after getting behind 3-0. Tied it at 3. Got behind 4-3. Have tied it up now at 4. And the pitch. It's fouled off on the left side, backing out of play. Florida Grapefruit League action today. Astros blanked the Cardinals 3-0. Marlins and the Nationals played to a 2-2 tie. Yankees over the Braves 8-7. New York is 11-3 in exhibition play this spring. Pirates over the Rays 10-8. Pittsburgh's 10-3 this spring. Here's the pitch, chopped on the right side. Chang, the second baseman, will throw out Sherman Johnson for out number 1. So 1 away. Here is Nolan Fontana. Other action in the Florida Grapefruit League. Red Sox beat the USWBC team 7-5. Twins beat Team Columbia today 10-7. Blue Jays over the Phillies 6-4. Tigers and Mets played to a 5-5 tie. And that's about it as far as the exhibition slate today. This one 4-4, 9th inning. Angels and the AL champion Indians. Here's the next pitch from Narveson. A little bit high, it misses. Narveson, the 8th Cleveland pitcher today, and the next pitch, cut and a miss.
Quite a few lefties out of the bullpen today for Cleveland.
They sure have. Seen Russell and Logan, and we've seen Crockett, and now Narveson.
No Andrew Miller, though.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
And the pitch, that one is taken for a ball.
That slider he has, wicked. He can still throw mid-90s, but the slider, wow.
Yep. That acquisition carried them into the World Series last year.
No question.
Yeah. Here's the pitch, and that is a little bit inside for a ball. And in the case of Miller, he's not going to be going anywhere. He's on a 4-year deal. This is year 3 of it. Here comes the 3-2, and it's fouled back to the screen. So staying alive is Fontana.
Yeah, when Cleveland first picked him up, you thought maybe he'd be the closer, taking over for Cody Allen, but we even saw him right away in games in the 6th inning against the Angels. 5th, 6th, 7th inning, pitching 3 innings at a time. A lot of strikeouts.
Yep. He led all relievers in strikeouts last year, did Miller. Here's a ball bounced near second, and Chang got a little crossed up, tried to backhand that one, skips away from him, and the ball rolls into right center. So that figures to be an error on the second baseman. That was a routine play. And now Kruger will be back up at the plate. He had a big RBI double that tied up the game in the 7th.
As if he got there quicker than he thought. He could have fielded that right in front of him. Instead tried to backhand in the middle part of his body and then off the glove and into the outfield for an error.
So Jack Kruger, who's been a hitting machine in limited at bats this spring, digs in for another chance to impact this game. Here's the pitch, and he chops this one softly towards his shortstop. They flip to second for 1, relay to first late.
Can run pretty well also to be able to make sure that wasn't an inning double play.
So fielder's choice. He's safe at first base. Second out here in the 9th. And David Fletcher is going to bat. He's had one at bat with a line out. We were talking about Andrew Miller, outstanding all-star reliever for the Indians. And a couple of things, when you look at his numbers from a year ago, and he was with the Yankees and with Cleveland, he walked 9 batters last year and struck out 123 in 74 and 1/3 innings.
That's a pretty good ratio, isn't it? Walk to strikeout.
9 to 123.
And you remember when he was a starter, he was drafted by the Tigers at that point. He was pretty inconsistent as far as the strikes. So pretty wild as a starter.
Yeah. And he's a 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider, but both pitches are plus pitches by far. At the plate, and the pitch is low. It gets away from Quiros, and moving up to second base now will be Kruger. So the count is 1 ball, no strikes on Fletcher. A base hit could give the Angels the lead. Shadows starting to creep in from behind home plate. They've yet to reach the batter's circle, but the hitter can see his shadow in front of him as he digs in this case Fletcher. And here's the pitch, and that one he takes high for a ball. 2-0 the count. Let's pause for stations to identify themselves on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. Next delivery on the 2-0, that's taken for a called strike.
Ron Renicky having a quick conversation with Kruger out there to make sure he gets a pretty good secondary lead to be able to score if indeed Fletcher gets a base hit into the outfield.
Here's the next pitch, and that's high. So it's now a 3-1 count on Fletcher. If he gets on base, Caleb Adams is waiting on deck. He reached on an error last inning. And the next pitch, that's a shot into right field. It's going to drop in for a hit. Kruger is going to be waved home. Here comes the throw to the plate. He will score, and hustling up to second base with an RBI hit is Fletcher. Angels have the lead for the first time today. It's 5-4.
Boy, right on cue. Ron Renicky was not going to take that. He was definitely going to take that shot at scoring. Kruger picked it up, hit well by Fletcher in the right field. But again, it's all about that base running and that good secondary lead. And Fletcher puts the ball in play. Big base hit as the Angels take this lead. But again, good base running throughout. Finally giving the Angels the lead here in this game. It took all the way to the 9th inning to get the lead.
And the Angels tied with a 2-out hit here. Well, take the lead with a 2-out hit here in the 9th. Tied up the game last inning with a 2-out hit. At the plate is Adams, and he checks on that one. They say he went around for a strike. Angels got a run in the 6th, a run in the 7th, a run in the 8th, a run in the 9th, and got one in the 5th inning as well. Here's the pitch, and that one is low inside. So nothing but little innings, but they've
the old picket fence, all those ones all the way through.
They're strung right on through, 5th through the 9th.
Again, credit Ron Renicky and this entire team for the Angels, how they've scored these runs. They've been very aggressive running the bases. The youngsters have showed a lot in this game.
There's a pitch that is missed, and Adams now in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fletcher is leading off second base. Here's the next pitch. Adams swings at that one, fouls it back behind the plate. One ball, 2 strikes, the count. Arvison's next delivery, and that one missed inside. We'll see what the Angels decide to do pitching-wise when we get to the bottom of the ninth. Justin Anderson came in last inning, did a very nice job. 1-2-3 inning. Here's the next pitch, and that is low. Misses, and now it's a full count, 3-2.
Trying to add on here, get a little insurance run.
Long inning here for Narveson. This will be his 25th pitch here in the ninth. It's on its way, and it's cut on and missed. He got him, struck him out. So Adams is retired. That's it for the Angels here in the ninth. But the go-ahead run, 2 hits in the inning, no errors and a runner left. We'll see if the Angels can hold on. Bottom of the ninth is next. 5-4 Halos on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Adam Hofackett is going to take over for the Angels. He is up from minor league camp. And he is a right-hander. Here's the first pitch. That one is inside for ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the next delivery, and it's grounded right out to short. It's handled there by Fontana. His throw to first is in time, and that'll be the first out. 6-3 on the ground out. Mathias, who is batting for the first time in the ball game, chopped that one out to short. And now Yu Chang is going to bat. This is his first at bat today. He came in to take over at second base. Here's the pitch on Chang, and he takes that one low and away for a ball. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Chang is from Taiwan, and he lines that one foul down the left side. 21 years old, has a little bit of power. 13 home runs last year. Hit .259 in A ball. And here's Hofackett's next pitch, and that is right in there for a strike. Mark Gubicza is headed downstairs. He will visit with Angels third base coach Ron Renicky right after the end of this ball game today. There's a swing and a miss, and Hofackett throws it by Chang. Struck him out, and now 1 more out to go. Hofackett is a right-hander who was born in Riverside. We've seen him this spring. Angels took him in the 10th round of the June 2015 draft. Went to Cal Baptist University in Riverside. And the pitch. That one pitch it is taken by Willie Castro, and it misses ball one. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Castro's first at bat today, and the next delivery lines one down the right side. That's going to roll down in the right field corner. Foster just getting to it, and stopping at second base is Castro to keep this game alive. So he doubles with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. So it'll send it to the top of the batting order, and this is going to be Naquin stepping up. He's been up once today, and he pinched hit for Kipnis and hit a pinch hit homer. That gave the Indians at the time the 4-3 lead. So it'll boil down to this matchup here. Left-handed batter digging in. Hoffackett had appeared in one other Cactus League game so far for the Angels and got 1 out. And that was all he pitched. Retired the only batter he faced. Here's his delivery, and that one misses a little bit low for a ball. Hoffackett last year pitched A-ball, Inland Empire, and Burlington. Here's his pitch. That's low and away for a ball. Hoffackett's numbers were solid at Class A Burlington, and then he went to the Cal League and pitched for Inland Empire. Numbers were not as good. Young pitcher, and the next delivery, that one missed high and outside, and he's fallen behind. It's now 3-0. Well, sometimes these young pitchers come into games, and that final out can be so difficult to get. 3-0 is the count. Hoffackett delivers, and Naquin takes, and that one is in there for a strike. Hoffackett is 23 years old. He turned 23 last month. 6'1", goes about 195 pounds. SoCal native. He's ready, and the 3-1 delivery, and that is ball 4. It was outside. Naquin keeps the game going with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th with a 2-out walk. So they have the tying run at second, the potential winning run at first. And Jordan Smith will be the next batter. He singled his first time up. They're going to pinch run, it looks like, for Naquin. So here's the pitch, and that is in there for a called strike. Todd Hankins is the pinch runner, and he's wearing number 22. That was Jason Kipnis's number, who was their leadoff man today. Here's when it's fouled back by Smith, and the count has moved to 0-2 on the Indians' young outfielder. So the Angels need one more strike to wrap this game up. Justin Anderson would be the winner if Hoffackett can get the out here, and Hoffackett, if he can get the out, would get a save. He's ready. Here it comes. That's a liner, but it's caught by the shortstop Fontana, and the ball game is over. He couldn't have been positioned any better had he not been that close to second base. That ball would have dropped in to tie up the ball game, but a nice job of positioning there by Nolan Fontana, who played the entire game at shortstop for the Angels today. He makes the grab on that one, and the Angels come back and then hold on and win it today by the final score of 5-4. Good ball game for the Angels here today. And again, the Angels got runs in each of the last 5 innings. 1 run in innings 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 today, and come away with the victory by the final of 5-4. We'll join Mark Ubisaw in just a moment, and he'll be joined by Angels third base coach Ron Renicky. Angels come away with the win here today and improve to 9-3 in Cactus League play. The Indians are now 5-7-1. Let's go down to Mark Ubisaw. He's standing by with Angels third base coach Ron Renicky.
Well, thanks, Terry. Ron, another great job as far as running the bases again and be able to squeak this one out. They get a lead till the 9th inning, but it held up for a big victory against Cleveland today.
Well, guys did a nice job running the bases. I was a little nervous sending that last guy home. A good throw, and we're out pretty easy. So sometimes you send a guy, you know with a good throw he's going to be out, but 2 outs, I took a chance, and it worked out. Guys, some big hits, big clutch hits. Did a nice job pitching today.
Running the base too, Sherman Johnson ran the base very well. He actually helped produce that 1 run that Kruger drove in. Ben Revere running the base as well again. Team is stealing a lot of bases. Is that all part of what we're trying to see here in spring training?
I hope so. I think Ben is certainly a guy that's capable of doing it and has proved that he can do it. So he's kind of has a lot of freedom out there right now. And I think anytime Sherman Johnson gets on, he's run enough to where we trust him. He's getting really good jumps, so it makes me feel comfortable. Even the jump he got from second base that he was going to steal third when we hit the double down the right field line. He got an unbelievable jump.
Yes, he did.
I think if I'm a hitter, I'd probably freeze a little bit and let him steal third, but good thing we swung there. And, I like what we're doing.
And, Ron, we talked about it. We joked around we're going to have a trifecta as far as stealing home, double steals. They've done a great job as far as how difficult is that to get the read to make sure you get that throw to second and then to be able to time it going home.
It is, and we have an offensive really fundamental that we work on that. And guys have done a nice job. Some guys I trust more than others. Some guys have just great instincts. And instinctually, you look at Fletcher today. So they have the infield in, and Mike told me to make sure a ground ball goes up the middle and not to third base. And I told Fletch, if that's a jam shot or a high chopper, go ahead and go. And he didn't hesitate. He just great instincts and went as soon as it was the jam shot with off of Marte, and he scored.
Well, I appreciate it, Ron. Enjoy that ride back, by the way.
Thanks.
All right, Terry, back to you now, man. Another victory here. Came back here in the 9th, finally got that lead, and it held on.
All right, Mark Ubisaw, kind of the good luck charm since he's been here in Arizona. All right, the Angels come away with the victory here today. A comeback win over the Cleveland Indians by the final score of 5-4. I want to remind you, if you're watching here on Fox Sports West, Mark will be joined with Alex Curry in just a moment. They'll have more post-game analysis on Angels Live. We'll have more for you coming up on the radio side as well. Again, the final, Angels 5, Indians 4. This is the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
Dress code, huh? My dress